think that what she does for the whiskey community, the fact that she makes herself accessible. What?
Marty, if you're screwing with us.
What just happened?
I don't know. I just read that.
Oh, no. If she's willing,
I don't know if we're prepared for this moment.
I'm ready.
Does he have
ready.
Oh, whoa. There she is. Wow, we've made it. Nancy.
Go ahead. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm such a big fan of everything you do, and I'm not normally like short on words, but I'm short on words because I think what you do for the whiskey community, what you provide us, what the work you put into it, and listening to the journey that you've taken.
There we go.
Yes. I'll take it. Do you want to get in it?
Yeah.
All right.
Come on, man.
All right.
Come on, buddy. Come on, Mack.
I'm good.
All right. 1, 2, 3,
Tanager.
I forget to you, my friend.
Are you fucking Are you?
Nope, I'm not. So this, sir, is also signed on both sides. And I would like to let everybody know here on stream, Merry Christmas, Mack. You're my best friend, and I wasn't going to leave everyone without you. They say that you should never meet your heroes because they'll let you down. And they were completely wrong. Because you know, you put someone on a pedestal and you kind of think like, you know, you respect them. You think so highly of them. I've watched God knows how many videos, listened to know how many podcasts, and just have really learned so much from what she does. And not to get overly emotional here, but she made it so special. And there was a moment when we were fortunate enough, she and I, when she got there that morning, we went and got breakfast, and we just had a chance to sit down and talk to each other and just, you know, really become what I consider the beginning. We've had fun doing this though. Like, and you know what, Mack, I don't think I've ever had as much fun with my pants on. I should reference that as when you and I hang out together.
Oh, thanks.
And my pants stay on when we hang out together. I just want to be clear.
We do need to clarify that.
Yeah.
Dude, man, I agree, man. We have blast.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out. Yeah.
What's up, Mack?
What is up? I'm pumped.
Dude, this is exciting, right? Like this is crazy. This is crazy. It is going to be a night, my friend. It is going to be a night.
It's just like I just can't, like, I don't know, you know, watching back through that, like watching back through the clips, and like the first time she dropped in the chat, and like, you know, anyway, now here we are. Just incredible, man.
Yeah. And if you're new here, y'all, I'm Hack, and this is my buddy Mack, and we started this journey last April or so, and have met some really fortunate to meet some friends along the way. And one of those friends that we've met, I want to call out, and you'll see a call out tonight in the channel to join his YouTube channel. And that's a friend of ours by the name of Marty.
Yep.
His channel is called Whiskey Knows. And Marty found out about my super fan, whatever you want to call it, of Nancy. And he invited her to hang out in one of our chats one night. And, you know, and so she showed up in chat, and I about lost it. And so since then, we've got to hang out a couple of times on some private, you know, streams and stuff. And then met her at Still Austin, and she was just incredible. And so through that friendship, you know, as luck would have it, she's just returning from Texas. She's been there this week. We'll talk about what she was doing there. And she's going to join us tonight. So, you know, I have been nervous all day, but I'm ready, Mack. I'm ready.
Man, I'm ready too. You know, Just try to hold it together, Hack. I think we got this.
I will. I will. And I think the restraining order, I'm good because virtual doesn't count on that. The restraining order that I've had because I have a little bit of an obsession with Nancy. Just a little.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. We got a bunch of people already in here. Man, we got some cool stuff, man. I just don't even know where to start, Hack. We're just like, I know.
We're gonna get rolling here. We're gonna have a fun night tonight. I'll set it up in a little bit what we're gonna do with Nancy tonight, but just a few quick channel announcements. Again, if it's your first time here and you've never seen us, we do not the Patreon thing. We do a YouTube membership thing. The YouTube membership, you'll see there'll be in the Nightbot as we go through the night. It'll drop in the channel or in the chat. And in there, you're going to see an invite to join. If you want to join us and be a member, there's a few cool perks you get. You get access to our private Discord where there's a lot of cool stuff going on there. We just released last week, our first time ever, something called the Whiskey Vault, where you can enter to win some cool bottles for MSRP. You just did something cool this week with the tournament starting. You want to talk about that?
Oh man, I kind of don't want to talk. My bracket is screwed up. As the one who created the bracket for the Hack and Mack challenge, I think I'm like 40th. But for those, I think we have around like 45 people in the group. There's a prize, and it's this bad boy.
A little Southern Collective love.
Yeah, I think right now, I think Robert and Kyle and Andy are all tied for first place. But there's still a lot to go, y'all.
Yeah.
That Virginia Tennessee game was great.
So the bracket challenge, as a member, it costs you nothing to enter, and if you win that bottle, courtesy of my friend Mack. So pretty cool. What is that bottle? That's a light whiskey?
Yeah, 20-year ALW American light whiskey, 142 proof.
Ooh, hazy.
I know, but this is one of those that you drink this and you're like, this is 125 proof, and then you just keep sipping it. It's like this thing is like a sugar donut to me, man. So
nice.
Best of luck to all. I'm coming back.
Well, and I think one more announcement around that, something cool coming is that Southern Collective is a place that we, did our first ever meetup at last November. Have kind of become friends with the folks there, and Mack, you and I are going to do something kind of cool. It's going to be a quick trip though, but we're going to go to Southern Collective in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And we're going to pick another barrel.
Yeah, man. And there've been some bangers out of there. The one that got away from us, Hack, the first time, a few people got that came to our Nashville in November. That was an incredible barrel. And then, yeah, man. So I think we're excited to kind of roll through and taste through some of those barrels. They always have good stuff there. So
yeah, and you might be going another barrel. Yeah. Well, so again, if you're new here and you're just starting out with us, we did our first ever barrel pick a few weeks ago with Jay West of the Reveries. We've got 2 barrels coming from him, an 8 and a 10-year.
Yeah.
We are donating all proceeds to charity for that. So we're excited for that to drop. And Mack, I think you talked to Jay today, or you might have an update on that.
Yes, they're getting bottled this week, which is exciting. So we'll know more too about the specific drop date, but like it's coming. It's being bottled. I'm excited. I'm excited about those. So.
Yeah, and next week, dude, this week's this lineup that we've had,
I know, right? Oh,
we started with David Jennings, a rare bird, who was amazing, incredible. We gonna have Nancy tonight, Nancy Fraley, best master blender in the world. Next week we've got Jay West, Take Reveries, Provenance, all of that stuff. Then the week after, or a couple weeks, we've got someone else, right?
Yeah, Ian. Ian is. He sent an awesome message. Ian Sturgeon from MGP, and was really apologetic. He like missed some scheduling stuff, but he's excited to come on. I'm excited to have him. And so I think that's like mid. Are we talking like April? I don't even know when it is, but we'll like update the list there. But man, it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, so we got that going on. I mean, just all of this stuff, right? Like we're doing a lot of cool stuff. So if you want to join with us, become a member. Once you become a member, there's a little post on our YouTube channel that will get you a link to the Discord. Come hang out with us. a lot of times after the streams, we're hanging out in the Discord for a little bit, having one more pour. And you know what? This week we had just like an impromptu hangout, like on Friday night. So we like to hang out and have fun. Our community is all about hanging out and drinking whiskey together, really. And we want you to join us. So come have fun with us, come hang out with us. And yeah, so we should probably check in with the chat now before Nancy's ready to roll. And let me kick this off with the first one. That's a super chat from our dude, Randy. Handy Randy down in Texas. I'm locking in tonight. Cheers, Hack and Mack. Randy's a friend of ours. He is also part of the barrel pick team, Mack, for Gauchos.
Oh, awesome.
And so if you're not following Gauchos, you can follow Gauchos on Instagram. They're starting to post some pictures now of when their store's going to open, and they're doing tons of cool barrel picks. Lots of cool things that are going to happen there. They're a store that's in East Texas. I've done a Still Austin pick with them a few weeks ago, or a month or so ago. Did a JT Mellick pick with them. And then also they've got some access to some crazy Buffalo Trace stuff. One of them, I'll just show you real quick. For those of you that have not been here in the channel, this is a very, very rare Weller 12 single barrel. So you don't see many of these around, but the Gauchos, East Texas, coming in May. We'll be posting some more dates. And I'm looking at Mac maybe trying to do some kind of hangout in Tyler, Texas. So stay tuned.
That's awesome, man. But yeah, we haven't talked about what we're sipping, and we got a special guest coming up. She may even be in the here waiting in the wings. So we don't want to take too long here, but I'm sipping on some Still Austin. I noticed we're both kind of rocking the Still Austin.
The Still Austin love tonight because I mean, look, those of us we've adopted you as a Texan, Mac. I don't know if you know that, but we've adopted you.
Oh,
because of your love of Still Austin.
I do love it. I do love Still Austin.
And Still Austin would not be Still Austin without the hard work of Nancy, who's going to join us. And so we're excited about that. But also, just real quick before we bring her up, Mac, and again, we probably aren't going to do a chat check-in because we're not going to keep Nancy waiting. I see she's ready. But I'm going to show you, Mac, real quick. This tonight is part of our drawing or our super chats. So if you want a super chat tonight, you can. Those super chats are going to be thrown into a wheel, and we're going to do a prize at the end of the night. And one of those prizes, guys, is something we're going to kick off the night with, which is, and I'm going to say it Texan, and then when Nancy comes on, she's going to tell me how to say it French. But this is a cognac. This is frappin', right? This is frappin'.
I'm sure that's how they say that in France.
I'm sure that's not how they say it, but I mean, when you're Texan, you just say it how you want, right?
I love it.
This is a cigar blend that was one of the original inspirations that Nancy shared with me on a stream once. And I was out at Total Wine yesterday, and I grabbed an extra bottle of it because we're going to open one tonight and go through it. But also we want everyone in the chat to have a chance to try some cognac and try one of the original expressions. And awesome. Mac, you want to tell what else are part of our giveaways tonight?
Yeah. So first of all, that's awesome. We're giving that ball away. And then we're going to be running through I like some Armagnac. I've got a few things too on my end. So I'm going to be throwing together a Cognac Armagnac sample pack, and you get this one of a kind. I don't know if you can see this. Hack and Mack. One more pour. Wee Glen.
We have a Wee Glen. We have a Wee Glen. It's awesome. A Wee Glen. It's a tiny little pretty.
They're literally called Wee Glens, and I love them.
I know. I like it. Jeremy Willis, thank you for being a new member. We appreciate you. Torn Between Bottles, you guys are awesome. Hack, love our conversation at Southeast Texas. Man, I loved meeting all those dudes. Southeast Texas Beaumont Whiskey Festival, y'all. It is the place to be. I was there a few weeks ago. It was awesome meeting some of you guys. Eric Sheldon, we need to get Nancy to come to Houston for a bottle. It's not too far from Austin. We could definitely do that. That would be incredible. Chris says, enjoy your content banner. Guest list too much. Yep. Andrew says, I might win this time. I open my Murray number 4 for good luck. Oh, we're going to get into that tonight. We might talk about 5 too, which I'm hearing some cool news about that one. Gerald Roman says, hashtag one more pour. Heck yeah, we're going to do that. And then Bradley Booper, one more pour, Wee Glen. I am in. All right, brother. Mac, awesome. I don't think we should keep our lady waiting.
I do not think we should either,
my
friend.
Let's get her up here.
Hey.
Hello, Nancy.
Cheers.
Cheers. How are you? Thank you for being here. This is surreal, Nancy. It's hard to believe that you're actually really here with us. So thank you so much.
I've been looking forward to this all day. So
that is so nice.
In anticipation of it, I'm sipping a little bit of 62-year-old Armagnac from 1962 tonight.
Oh, I think you got me beating it. I don't think I have one of those.
Wetting my
Let me go
whistle.
grab that one. Yeah. So we'll bring the chat in on what in a little bit is that. So we started a text today to kind of prep for the stream and talk about what we're going to do. And I had this idea that, we like to have some pours on this channel, Nancy, from time to time. And I thought one of the most fun ways, because our channel is all about like whiskey should be fun, is to drink through your whiskey journey. So basically, it's going to be a night. Y'all get ready. I know, Nancy, you've already had dinner early. You've been prepping. You're good to go. So that's good to hear. But what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to start by kind of talking about where Nancy started. And she's really earned a tremendous amount of respect in the whiskey world. And I've listened to a lot of podcasts. We've heard your journey. But I thought it would be kind of unique and fun to kind of sip along and taste along. And then also, Nancy, to set this up, Mack and I are just kind of starting to experiment with Armagnac and Cognac and Brandy. And I thought, you know what, who better in the world to educate us? And I thought, I'm lucky enough to know you personally and become friends. I thought, man, this is a really cool way to kick this off. So I hope you don't mind doing that.
Oh, absolutely. I twist my arm. Brandy is my passion, or one of my major passions in life. So I'm always happy to share it.
So the one that I want to ask you this too before we start into this is that, like, so, people say, okay, you shouldn't, when you're doing a barrel pick or you're tasting, you should start with bourbon before you go to rye. Is there a right or wrong way to go through Brandy, Armagnac, Cognac? Like, how should we approach this? And then I really want you to kind of talk to us about the differences too when we go through it. Like, where should we start, Nancy? Should we start with Brandy?
I definitely think so, because that's going to kind of be the couple things. The proof is a little lower. Oh yes, you got it.
I did. Well, I didn't get. I got this one. Mack got a different. Yeah.
Oh man. Woo, yes.
Oh,
he always has to one up me, Nancy. He always has to one up me. I found
oh,
this
wait,
7
Nancy
year.
is that the same one, Nancy?
Yes.
Do we have the same one?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And Hack, you don't have it. I'm sorry, Hack. It's just, well, I'll send you a sample.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks. You're so awesome.
Sample. But yeah, the proof is lower, but it's also, if we're going to kind of tell a story, that's kind of where things start.
Let's do that.
So
yeah, let's start with the story. Let's start with your start with Brandy, and this is okay. Here's my best Texan French. Germain Robin.
Germain Robin. Yeah.
Robin. Okay. All right. That was better than I thought.
Very
it's
good,
better
actually.
than saying German Robin, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
German Robin. Germain Robin. Yeah.
I can hear you've been to Austin enough times. You've got a little Texas accent. I can hear it there, Nancy.
Well, as you know, I'm a Tennessean, so East Tennessean, it slips out sometimes.
I love it.
It's
another reason, Nancy. I'm a big fan. I'm also a Tennessean, so here we go. But I'm Nashville. So, but
hey, I'm Knoxville, so
that's awesome.
That's that's so cool, though. Well, awesome. Yeah.
So we're gonna get into this one, Nancy, or were sipping something different though? Were you sipping Armagnac first, and now we're
was actually I was doing let's see here in the camera, DeRose 1962.
Oh, right. Okay, awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, then maybe we should. But did you want to? You said that Brandy would be best to start with, Nancy, and why is that? Why would you say that?
Well, for one thing, the proof is going to be a lot lower than the whiskeys, and just it's for in order to kind of tell the story, it just it all kind of starts with brandy for me. So it's kind of the genesis. if you
Yeah,
will.
and if I remember right, Nancy, it's like you were on this journey, right? You graduated from Harvard, law school, like headed that direction, and then you tried a brandy, right? And or you tried a spirit from France. I can't remember if it was brandy or not, but it was like, oh wait, it was just kind of this spiritual moment where you're like, oh wait, that's not my calling. This is my calling, and you ended up kind of talk to us about how that all came to be.
Yeah. So after I had finished a master's at Harvard and then went to law school and studied maritime and admiralty law, as one does.
I love it.
A joke. But I just didn't. Law is my family business, as it were, and I didn't really want to do that. And I was already a single malt Scotch fan and a tequila fan and mezcal fan and beginning to be a brandy fan. And I'd gone to a fundraiser called for Girls Inc. About some years ago, and that's where I discovered the Germain Robin portfolio of brandies. And I know it is so cliche, but I mean that one experience literally changed the course of my life. I mean, within a year, I quit the law firm I worked at, had traveled around the world, wasn't sure what I was going to do. And a year later, I was working at the distillery.
Wow.
I mean, it just kind of seemed like by magic, in a sense. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, it was like it was meant to be somehow in my life. And it was just amazing. So yeah. So
one of the things I'm as rookie as they come on this, Nancy, but this is a California alembic brandy.
Yeah. What is
Lambic?
that?
Yeah.
Alembic. Okay.
Yeah.
Alembic brandy. And this one, the one I have, it says crafted from premium wine using only California grapes distilled in traditional alembic cognac stills. And then it's aged in French. And I used to say limousine, but I know it's not that. It's limousine.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oak barrels. So are all brandies like what makes this one special, or the one that you guys have special from other brandies?
Yeah. So not well. All to answer the question there that I just saw. Yeah. Brandy, Cognac, and Armagnac are all brandies ultimately, right? Right. Yes. So I'm going to answer that question first. So they all fall under the general rubric of brandy. And so brandy is any kind of distillate distilled from fruit. It can be any kind of and in this case, obviously we're just talking about grapes. So an alembic style brandy in here in the United States is a brandy that's distilled on a traditional cognac still, what they call a Charente still, alembic. The word alembic comes from the Arabic word al-ambik. And you're meaning a little pot still.
Okay.
And I think I've strayed off the question.
No. You're actually doing perfect. So.
Oh yeah. But for this, so Germain Robin was started by a 10th generation cognac maker who came to California in the early 1980s.
Okay.
And that was Hubert Germain Robin. His family had been distilling since 1782.
Wow.
And they ended up selling their cognac house to Cognac Martel for any brandy, if there are any cognac fans on here. Just
Okay.
FYF, you want to check that out. So he was kind of disillusioned, came to California, and he was actually hitchhiking. He and his wife up Highway 101, and a former professor that had used to teach at Cal. That's what we call University of California at Berkeley. Who had just like quit, like dropped out, and went to go buy a sheep farm a couple of hours north of here. Picked them up on the road, and they got to talking, and the next thing they're getting an old Armagnac still over to California, and
oh wow,
so that's how it all
like very very traditional, old school style of brandy.
So when you were there in France, you actually studied under Germain Robin, or the family of, is that right? Or who was your mentor when you were there?
That would be Hubert. So when I was working at Germain Robin, which was here in California, it's like two hours north of me.
Okay, so you were studying here, but you've made a lot of trips over, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Hubert had actually left the company when I came on, and kind of long story. I've worked for the company twice, once in legal and marketing stuff, and I just sucked at that, and then again in production, and then after I quit, I finally met Hubert, and I was helping him work on a few books, and then I started studying with them. And but yes, I do go to France, usually about once a year, and study with other master blenders and such.
Well,
I have mentors, but
I love the nose on it. The nose on this is phenomenal. Like it is.
Since we're talking about cigar blends, I'm going to talk more about that.
Sure.
Because we're going to go through this and the frappen and such till we get to modern day stuff. But the whole cigar blend phenomenon probably started 35 to 45 years ago or so, maybe even longer. I'm not sure exactly when it started, but it was a total cognac thing. Yep. There's the frappen, which we'll be digging into here in a little bit too.
Okay.
And that's where things really started. And my mentor Hubert put out this in 1994. So that was some 32 years ago, right?
Oh wow.
And the brandies in those in the original formulation were distilled at say like 1985 through 1991 or so. But anyway, the whole idea of a cigar blend in the brandy world, both for Hubert and for frappen, and all the other cigar blend makers out there, is that you distill your brandy or the wine on you fermented on heavy lees. So lees are that's like the dead yeast and such. So you want a lot of fat in there, or in the fermentation, and then that goes over to the still. And so what you turn out with a very fatty spirit, and then when you age that in a very humid conditions, it creates this kind of note that I think we've talked about before, but at rancio,
yeah.
So that's the oxidized esters of the fatty acids,
right?
Wine. So
that comes from the word rancid, right? Like it comes from
it's cognate with that. So so that's what you want when you have a cigar blend, and it's the rancio notes that create the like the nutty qualities, a little bit of like a pipe tobacco kind of notes, all the dark dried fruit, all the things that tend to pair very well with a cigar. And it has nothing to do with cask finishing. That was an aberration I came up with later. Which we'll talk about later tonight.
I love it. Well, I am okay. I've already poured like a second pour of this already, just while you've been talking, because and this is incredible. And is this might be a dumb question? Is this a cigar blend, or would you call it? Okay, and it doesn't
old Havana. Think about it.
Oh yeah.
It is definitely. I've got my old production notes from Jermaine Robin too.
Oh wow!
I took one of my production notebooks upstairs from my basement. This blend. So I won't go into like all the varietals, but it's mostly I'd say 45% French Colombard, 25% Pinot Noir, 12% Chenin Blanc. It has some other like a little bit of Zinfandel, Syrah, and Gamay, but anyway, just kind of some trace components. But you can probably taste the fruitiness on it.
Yes, yeah.
And
mine's the younger version, but
something else too that you can probably smell, and it's that this takes a little training sometimes, but you can smell if you kind of know what you're looking for, you can smell the yeast and the fat.
Oh,
okay.
That's another level. I don't think I can do that, Nate.
So that's
how do I do that? How do I do that? Tell me how would you do that?
Well, if I've trained people on that before to if you taste it's a brandy that has not been distilled on heavy lees versus one that was distilled, you'll get it instantly.
Interesting.
It's really obvious.
I definitely on the nose on this brandy, I definitely get the grape varietal thing. I can definitely, it's kind of wine forward on the nose, but also just there's a slight like almost anise kind of in there that's not, it's just a very light anise. It's not like a dark anise, but then it doesn't taste kind of like black licorice when you taste it. So it doesn't on the nose, it's that, but on the palate, it's not that. Am I off base there, or is that?
No. I think you're absolutely on base for that.
And with this one, so this is 80 proof, which is low proof for us whiskey drinkers, right? Like for like bourbon drink, right? Like if that's at the same time, it is so viscous. Like the legs on this are still sticking, and it is fat. That's a really interesting thing, Nancy, the fat component of whiskey. That I definitely get that here, but there's this like elegance. I feel like I shouldn't be like I don't deserve this before. You know what I mean?
It's a nice mix up from bourbon, like it almost feels like a little bit of a spring summer sipper. Like it's nice and light, and it's not as heavy as bourbon. But what really separates brandy from Cognac and Armagnac? Like what's the different thing that makes it a brandy versus those? Well,
of course, like what I was saying before, the Cognac and Armagnac are brandies. They
are brandies. Okay, so this. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So,
go on.
I guess the difference is that when you get to a Cognac and Armagnac, what makes those expressions versus a brandy?
So that's a good question. Kind of like, first of all, Cognac and Armagnac can only be made in the certain designated areas, and there's a certain way in which they both have to be made. There's certain permitted varietals of grapes too that they have to abide by. They have a distillation season that goes from, let's say, October to March 31st,
Okay.
and it's a very strict cutoff. But yeah, it's there are designated, or designated areas where you can make this. Also, if you say you make a in the Cognac area, you make a brandy, but you don't follow the rules for making
Okay.
cognac, then your cognac would fall out of the cognac category and would just become a brandy, a great brandy. So,
well, this is a
Awesome.
great intro.
Well,
This is a great intro pour.
So
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, I've got a major nose itch that literally started
Oh, good.
with this tonight.
Good.
If you notice the finish on that, or just the fattiness,
Mhm.
that is what I've been chasing after in trying to create with all the cigar blends I've worked on. It's that note that I'm trying to recreate right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's, and I've done that a few ways, which we'll talk about
Great.
tonight.
I love it.
One of the questions is, was there a preferred wine you would use for brandy distillation?
It depends on if you're doing like a New World style, like here in the United States, certain varietals like Pinot Noir, love how that distills. That's kind of racy and elegant. If you're distilling wine or say the cognac area, you're bound by either Unia Blanc grapes, which are have a very high acidity to them, but they're just kind of uninteresting otherwise, or French Colombard. But yeah, the type of varietal, it's going to depend on where you are and what do you have there. Oh yes,
Yeah. So while we're talking brandy, I had to grab this one because I know that you got to try it recently, and a guy that has become, you're his mentor, I would say, is John Schreppel with Still Austin. Just last month had this brand new distillery only release, which is a new apple brandy. And so just to give you a quick story, I took this apple brandy up to me when I met with Mack in DC a few weeks ago, and we proceeded to drink almost
It was one night. All the bottles I have here, we drank this thing like half.
We were just it's like I bring him his own bottle and I proceed to drink half of it,
which
so
I would never do such a thing. Anyway,
no, we never will. But tell us, I mean, I know that John is, this is kind of getting back to his roots a little bit. I think I was talking to him at the distillery on the day of this release, and he was so nervous, Nancy. He was like, I've never been so stressed out in my life, but we got to sample it at the bar, and I told him, I said, John, this is incredible. Like, you have nothing to be nervous about. It's fantastic. But yeah, Still Austin doing a brandy. I mean, what is this?
It's cool is what it is. And yeah, John's background, he worked at a distillery in New York State, upper New York State, called Black Dirt. And so he was distilling apple brandy before he came to Still Austin for a long time.
Nancy, they're making fun of my notes here.
Yeah, they like to make fun of. So Mac, Nancy, we shared the story of the first time we were on stream. We're hanging out, and you asked Mac to give notes on one of your whiskeys, and he said, and he was so nervous, he said, caramel and oak.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't remember that at all, Nancy. And
I do, actually. I do.
Well, I've gotten better, Nancy, and I now have a book, and I've gone through everything you've made, and I'm just kidding. No, I had a little stage fright, Nancy. So.
Yeah, it happens. It happens, Mac. It happens.
It happens. Yeah, absolutely. I
love it.
Oh my God, that's great.
One of the questions, are brandies generally aged in new oak casks like bourbon?
That is an excellent question, and it sort of, yeah. But what happens? What's called new is very different than what it is in the whiskey world. So if say you're making a cognac style brandy or what we call an alembic style brandy, what you're doing is putting your new make, which we call a eau de vie, a water of life, into say you're putting it into a virgin cask, French oak. You only have it in there for maybe 9 months to 1 year.
Oh, that's all.
And then you take that out and put that into a more exhausted cask called a red cask. But that French oak cask is technically new for maybe 5 years. So the next time you distill more brandy, you use that cask again. Now that new make is going to be in there maybe 15 to 18 months. And it's going to go on like that until that barrel is about 5 years old, when it doesn't have any more extractives to offer, and then it becomes a red barrel. And so that's a very different thing to within the brandy world, that a new is not necessarily virgin.
Yeah. So I guess, did John, and I may be giving away secrets or things I'm not supposed to talk about, but I think that John, with this apple brandy, he did like finish it in still Austin barrels, right? Because it's or because here's the weird thing about it. Not weird, but like weird in a good way, is it's beautiful apple nose, of course, and then it's very rich and it's very, very nice and delicate, but it also has that underlying layer of still Austin. Like it still tastes like still Austin. Like it so from, especially now that I had that other brandy and then this one, the Germain Robin next to this, it's like, wow, this is like kicked up a notch or two. Like, right. It's like, it's got that underlying still Austin vibe, which is a slight hint of tobacco. And it's so nice. It kind of balances out a little bit instead of it just being so light.
I think he aged those in not Wyoming whiskey, Jesus. Still Austin. I can't remember if it was bourbon or rye.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll definitely have that still Austin character in there. Yeah. But when he was at Black Dirt, they were using ex-bourbon barrels for their apple brandies. So he was doing something very similar.
Got it.
Using our barrels, of course, and keeping everything in house, which I love that. I mean, that's just so cool to me.
Yeah, it's I think it was a risk, right? It's like you kind of have this lane that still Austin has created, and all of a sudden for a distillery only release, and I think a lot of my Texas friends, when we were looking at it, we're like, does he mean brandy finished? It's like, no, right. It's a straight up, it's a brandy, right?
Yeah, apple brandy. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's fantastic though. It's incredible, and I'm really excited. So and we'll get into some more still Austin, but definitely wanted to sip on that apple brandy with you, because I think how you've been working with John and obviously his talents, and you're such an amazing mentor, but we're so grateful that you're doing that, because I think, as my friend here that lives in Washington, D.C. will attest, with his still Austin collection kind of taken off since we've gotten together. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible the things that are happening down there, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I'm very proud of John. I mean, I'm really thrilled that, he already had the brandy experience, which, was great. But just being able to kind of do it, kind of now knowing about the French techniques, and in addition to be able to add that. So, yeah, I'm so proud of that. I haven't tasted the final version of that. I mean, I tasted like all the cask samples.
Mm.
The apple brandy was maturing.
Well, it was a cold, rainy day, and it was also on Valentine's Day at Still Austin, which you know, shout out to my wife for going to a Still Austin drop on Valentine's Day. She's a saint, and she also makes these charcuteries every week. So that's, you know, that's you talk about trying to not get schnockered, Nancy. This is what I'll end up going through some cheese as we taste tonight. But
I was looking at that, yeah.
The point, but yeah, Nancy, I think we may start up a pickled charcuterie channel at some point, because Mack likes things pickled.
I love pickles. Yeah,
he does. He loves pickles.
Love it.
But one of the things that happened, Nancy, is we got to loop the line and go through a second time, which that means I have an extra bottle of apple brandy I'm gonna send you.
Oh,
thank you so much. I mean, that's
you're welcome.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. People are often surprised that you know, they think that, you know, me and John get things just because we work at Still Austin. that is not necessarily so.
Right. And we're gonna stay away. We're gonna stay away from the lost Tanager bottle, but it was found. Everybody, we just want everyone to know.
Nancy has a Tanager. Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they were found.
Awesome.
At long last.
Are we? I just poured some Armagnac. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead or what.
Are we supposed to go to Armagnac or Cognac next?
Yeah.
I was just quickly going to have
sorry.
Yep, let's talk about
that before we kind of jump off that train.
Yep.
So so this too is a, you know, as I've told you, the Frappen is a major influence for in my cigar blend making as well. And that distillery, boy, to talk about old and that family, they go back to like 1215.
What? Like,
so that's
wait, not like 12:15 p.m. We're talking about 12:15.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The
unbelievable.
Yeah. So they've been, you know, at this for a few minutes.
That's awesome. Well, I don't have this one.
I want to ask a question when it comes to, you know, visiting France and you know, you've obviously, you know, earned a tremendous amount of respect in everything that you've done here in the whiskey world and all of that. When you go to France, do people know who you are? Like, do they recognize your work? Do they appreciate the work that's happened here in American whiskey and bourbon, or do you kind of, like, when you go back and visit different distilleries over there, is there a recognition of what's happened here, or an appreciation, I guess is the question?
Yes. And there is some recognition. And hold on, just that
sure.
1 second.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Heck. So you have that bottle. I don't have that one, but you know.
I'm sorry, Mack. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
We look. So just so everybody knows too, like yesterday when we were trying to prep for this, Mack's such a trooper, because I was like, hey, I got this idea, and I know it was last minute. Of like, hey, let's drink through Nancy's career here, and let's do the brandy Cognac. Now, the good parts, you already had some amazing Armagnacs, but you went out and
this thing is special, man. I can't wait for you to try this.
Are you pleased that you?
Oh man, it is. Yeah, it is unlike. I don't have anything like that on my shelf, man.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like, just me knows that the one that I have, which is not as old as one you had, it's really, I don't know. I would tell you it's like a deeper, I don't know how to explain it really. It's like it reminds me of like a layer that you would get in the cigar blend. So I'm starting to kind of see how these things were layered. Like you can get hints of how they became to be, you know?
Yes. Which I'm super excited to try the, like, you know, with Magnus now, cigar blend after us going through this eventually tonight, where and hearing, so that'll be.
Sorry about that.
No, all good.
So I was back 9 years ago. I was inducted into the Order of Armagnac Musketeers.
Oh wait, hold on. We're gonna make you big.
That is awesome.
Cool
The
sash.
Armagnac Musketeer. Wow.
Yeah.
Life goal. That's incredible. That's so
Oh,
cool.
like, you would wear this sash, like with like evening clothes or whatever. But anyway, that's what I was trying to look to show you. So I've
That's
been part of
amazing.
that world too for
So I guess they do recognize you over there as well.
Hell yeah, they do.
That kind of said it. Yeah, I guess so. That's
So for my again, remember I'm from Texas, public education schools, Nancy. Graduated from Texas Tech, so I'm not the smartest guy. But is a musketeer similar for like how they give knighthood, or how they like? Is that like what's the what is the decision that comes into that? Say, hey, we want to make you a musketeer.
So it's kind of, and if I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but like in Scotland, like being a keeper of the was it the quash or whatever you pronounce it. So it's kind of in recognition for having done something in service of or to promote Armagnac, or in the case of the or I was going to say kind of like being a Kentucky colonel, but
okay.
It's kind of like the French equivalent of those things.
That's so cool.
So,
man.
But anyway, so this the frappin is I know I think I've told you before. Again, the with the traditional cigar blend, it's all about lees, distillation, or having a lot of yeast, or the dead yeast, and the fermentation and distillation, and aging it in a very humid cellar, and that's what's going to give you those rancio notes, which is again what you want for that goes very well with the cigar or pipe.
Yeah.
So this being and this is again I need educated Nancy, and I'm sorry for my dumb questions, but when it says XO, like what does that signify? Like what does that mean?
Extra old is what
that's easier than I thought.
but
no hack.
It's the brandies in that, or the cognacs in that blend have to at least be 10 years old. Now, in this case, they're like 20 to 25 years old on this blend. So, but it's a designation that tells you that what the minimum age of the distillate or of the brandy is going to be.
So
this is incredible, by the way.
So yeah, and I don't have a cognac. So how would you, because I'll be jumping straight to Armagnac, but how would you describe the difference, Nancy, of as we're moving towards Armagnac now?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's when we're going from a cigar blend.
Okay.
Cognac to an Armagnac, I think there's a lot more layer things in common than there would be just for a regular brandy. So,
got it. Okay.
When I'm smelling this and tasting it, I get a lot of dark dried fruit kind of notes. Kind of like the darker type of
got it.
It's not like real light and fruity, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we can move to Armagnac. I see that.
I didn't mean to. No, I wasn't trying to push us there. I was just trying to ask.
No. That's okay. We've got a lot to taste through.
We do have a lot to taste through. Here's a question real quick, Nancy. They heard rapid evaporation causes the bitter and over oaked effect, especially in very hot areas, but can a high char level counter act that bitterness and provide a barrier in areas like Texas?
Yeah, that's a good question. I tend to find a high char is probably going to give a lot of smoky notes. So in particular, what we call guaiacol So that's that smoky, sweet note. So in a place like Texas, I know I tend to prefer lighter chars. It's still Austin. We use a char 3, which I love. That's my preferred char level.
Nancy, on this cognac, before we go to Armagnac, we'll just real quick on this Frappin. It is it's richer than the brandy, but it starts to your caramel notes start to show up here that you get on bourbon, and then it's also got a very much a light fruit, like almost like a blueberry type fruit in it, and it's got the light fruit caramel notes, and it's just steps up in a little bit of intensity. I still don't get a ton of barrel impact here though, like you do on a bourbon. Like, is that
right? Yeah. That's very common for European spirits. So, well, in this case, French spirits are going to be what we call a little shyer on the oak. That's done on purpose. For one thing, also with French oak, Limousin in particular, that has 10 times the amount of tannins than American oak has. Or Quercus strober, which is Limousin oak. It also is very coarse. It has a very coarse grain. So it means that that when you put new make into those barrels, it's going to get tannin very fast, and all the other extractives. So yeah, I mean the fact that with brandies or like a high-end cognac, you're going to age that much longer than you could whiskey, and part of that is the way that it's distilled, and the fat content and everything is just built to be able to mature for a much longer time.
Well, I think this is. Thank you for turning me on to this. This is super special, and I
it's good.
I want to spend a lot more. Yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good. So thank you for turning me on to this. Like I'm going to spend a lot more time with it, but I think let it open up some. But it's tremendous.
Yeah. It's I love it. And it's it really, and you can also probably see if you smell kind of the empty glass.
Yeah.
Again, you can smell, I can smell the fattiness in it.
Right. Well, and that's something, when you talk about fattiness and the whiskey and the oils, that's something you're looking for when you're trying to do something finished, right? Like that's because those fatty oils, they help pick up some of the finishing elements, right? Like it's almost acts like an agent to attract it. So like when I heard this on something, I think you were talking to the Pursuit guys a while back, and you were talking about, and I could tell they were picking your brain because they were about to make their own whiskey, right?
Yes.
And you could tell Kenny was asking these leading questions because they were like, okay, so how do you pick a barrel that you want when you want to finish? And is that right? That you're looking for something with those fatty natures because that's going to do really well on a finish?
Why don't we table that until we get here?
Oh yeah. Great. I'm sorry.
That's the perfect place.
That's a great. I can't wait.
You got it.
So,
all right, Armagnac
next. All right.
Awesome. Well, real quick while we're pouring our Armagnac, this is one from Take from Jay West.
Yes.
Hey. Yeah, and there are actually still bottles of this available, and we're actually gonna have him on next week. I wish I could talk more to this.
Yeah.
But it's $75, and it's a micro blend, PM Spirits and Take project, and created by Lancantada, which I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm trying.
Lancantada.
Yeah. Anyway, and also maybe the coolest label I've. And anyway, I love this one, and it's solid 75. But that's what I'm sipping on.
Yeah. What does he say anything about what's in that blend?
Let's see here.
The varietal is I can't say this,
Oh.
Nancy, but it's UGNI Blanc is the varietal.
Unia Blanc.
Unia Blanc. Okay.
Yeah.
And oh wow, this is I'm gonna sound real dumb right now. Pedunculate and sisal oak barrels.
Sessile, yeah.
Sessile. So that's what I have here, and I'm sure.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, that's
that. Okay, he'll be talking about that next week. But the pedunculate is also a Limousin that's quick for the very coarse grain.
Oh, is it?
Sessile oak is what's often, it too is a French oak and found in other parts of Europe, but that's what they usually use for French wine cask.
Okay.
And so that's a very very tight grain, and so it has more extractives than Quercus robur, but it really releases them very slowly over time. So it's a little bit more aromatic, but it takes a long time to get those aromatics. So just a fun fact about the oak.
Yeah. No,
nerdy.
That's great to know.
This is what we like. We love it. Nancy, what Armagnac are you sipping on?
Oh, it's the same one I was on before the Rose. Yeah.
Oh, right, 1962.
Yeah.
Now we were texting before, and you said you had some really
really old
stuff in the 1930s and 1940. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. The oldest Armagnac I have goes back to 1893, and so I've got Armagnacs from the 30s, 40s, a bunch from the 60s, 70s. About 10 years ago, I did a tasting for friends. It was called 3 Centuries of Armagnac.
Oh,
20th and 21st.
Oh man, to be at that. Wow.
Maybe one of these days. I mean, I don't know if I could ever afford a bottle again like that 1893.
Right.
I mean, I got it. I mean, it was expensive, but I got it at like a really good price.
Wow.
I just that's out of my pay grade these days.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's exorbitant. But the thing about going over to the Armagnac region, one thing I love about Armagnac is that for a bourbon connoisseur, I think it really, they tend to have a little bit more oak, and the proof, if it's just kind of left to naturally reduce over time, tend to be a little higher than most cognacs are, and so I think vintage Armagnac just for it's kind of like the gateway drug for the bourbon fan.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
And I will have to say Armagnac is hands down my favorite spirit in the world.
Oh,
I collect these. I've been collecting them for 20 years or so. So
why is that, Nancy? Why is it your favorite?
I like kind of the fact that they're a little bit more rustic, and they're I like the area of France too. It's mostly just farmers. You go and visit them, and they will literally spend all freaking day with you. Take you out, to their shay, or which is a barrel warehouse, the French name for that, and let you taste, some like 70-year-old Armagnac straight from the barrel, and they'll the smaller artisanal houses will bottle straight from the barrel the day that you buy it's just incredible. And a good friend of mine, a brandy maker, I don't know if I've said this somewhere before. I'm sure I have, and this is so not politically correct, but I'm going to tell this story. So,
that's kind of how we do this channel.
The difference between Cognac and Armagnac. Okay, so Cognac is the wife that you take to the opera. she's, refined, urbane, sophisticated, elegant, on all those things. And so at the end of a wonderful evening, you take her home, you take your dinner jacket or tuxedo off, and then you go out with Armagnac, and she's like a wild gypsy lover, and she's rustic, unrefined, but she gets out there and parties, but he is so much more fun.
Oh,
this is kind of like if they would take Mack to the opera and they would take me out. This is how this would work. Like, this is Mack, you're Cognac, I'm Armagnac. We just figured this out.
I love it.
So anyway, yeah, but
I love that.
That's a
great way to put it. I will never forget that either.
I've kind of embellished it over the years.
I love it though. It's great. So yeah, it's there's a journey on this take one, right? Like, it takes you on a journey. Like, it's wild. It's a wild pour, man.
Yeah, it's so true though about this is, we're getting really close to that bourbon profile, like, right, that oak, that real charred oak. I get like, now I'm going to try to do notes in front of Nancy here. Okay, but I
let it rip, baby. Let it rip. Come on.
No, it's, at least she's not tasting the same thing I'm tasting right now. So, but no. But I mean, I think with this one, it's like a real. You talk about fattiness. It is like like that real good vanilla ice cream, like the really fatty, nice, real vanilla bean thing with like a real dark brulee thing happening too. And that's what I love about this Armagnac. So.
And it has good mouthfeel to it.
Yes.
Too. Like weight. You can feel the weightiness.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, which is incredible. What
do you get, Nancy, on that? And I know we're so, but I really want to ask this on these old Armagnacs, and because some of them are coming out, and I've seen some new labels, and some, are all old Armagnacs created equal?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. So with Armagnac too, the distillation is very different. So whereas in general with the cognac, it's a double pot distillation, so it's coming off the still, about 140 proof, and then it's put it into the barrels at that proof. With Armagnac, most of it is going to, the really good stuff is going to be made on a kind of like a very crude column still. That has maybe about 2, 3, 4 plates at most.
Okay.
And you're coming off the still maybe about like 104 to 130 proof.
Okay.
And with about like 104 to 106 kind of being the sweet spot. So already it's coming off at a lower proof, and it's going to just be really rich too. And so that's part of what also, without getting too detailed into the working of the still, as the Armagnac is kind of turning back into vapors, or from vapor back into droplets of alcohol and such. It's really interacting with the wine in a way that the cognac quite doesn't. So it just really flavors it in a much deeper and more complex way, in my opinion. But it can also have a lot of faults to it too, if it's not done very well. So that's kind of the rust.
That's something, I know you do a lot of teaching around faults in whiskey, and that. And that this is a simple question that maybe, like, I don't know, too simplistic, but is there sometimes a beauty in an unperfect whiskey? Meaning that, like everyone's trying to get it just right, just perfect, but sometimes could those faults sometimes, Nancy, be what someone might enjoy?
They could be, and it might depend on fault. So, there are some that, and for example, like moldy grain, where you've got some kind of mycotoxin that is not fun. I mean, there's just nothing romantic about that.
Yeah, moldy grain does not sound
Any stretch. I think it depends on. So again, just to kind of geek out a little bit here, you can break it all down into two types. One is a taint, and the other is what we just call like an off flavor. And a taint is some kind of where it's been there's been some kind of environmental contamination, water that has geosmin in it, which is that blue-green mold kind of, or the byproducts of, kind of gives it like an earthy beet kind of note, or a musty corn or something like that. Whereas an off flavor is some kind of natural component that comes up through in the raw ingredients or fermentation, and it's then concentrated through distillation. But it's at a much higher threshold than what it really should be. So a good example of that would be isoamyl acetate. So that's the banana ester, right? So there's some brands like Old Forester, for example, that comes to my mind, where it's known for having a lot of isoamyl acetate in it. Now, the threshold that it has for me is too much. I do not like OFO, but because of that.
We have a friend named Ed that is celebrating right now. If he's watching right now, we have a really good friend, Ed, that does not like Old Forester. He doesn't even like President's Choice, right? Like he does not like it, and this makes perfect sense now. And you're with him.
Yeah, and that to me would be considered an off flavor, but some people love their banana bombs, and they like that profile. So,
but Nancy, what about this one though? What about our home state, Jack Daniels?
Oh God!
Oh no!
Yes.
Do you used to get that same thing? Okay.
Very much, and it has a lot of fusel oils in it too. So that's the tails.
You're right.
And it kind of has like that flat, oily kind of note.
Oh man, okay.
We have a friend named Matthew now that he's celebrating too, because he hates Jack Daniels.
Oh no. Well, hey, we all have. Yeah, well, that's really interesting.
Yeah. Jack Daniels has it in spades. I bought my dad drank Jack Daniels, and I had my first Jack and Coke when I was 7 years old at my dad's wedding.
That is so great.
And
that's
God,
Tennessee, baby. That's Tennessee right there.
They would consider this child abuse now, I'm sure, but my sister and I used to, my dad, when we were like 12 or 13, he would have us go make him a Jack and Coke. So I used to just smell it and get a little
a little nip of it. Well, see, Nancy, I'm gonna share with everybody that we've been texting before, where you like to get into the whiskey and Coke. Like that's just like all these master blenders, master distillers. Sometimes you drink whiskey neat so long, you need a little something to mix it up. You like a good whiskey and Coke. There's nothing wrong with that.
I love that, and that comes from my childhood. That's that taste, that smell, and having had to make my dad enough Jack and Cokes.
Wait. So the question though is, what whiskey are you putting in the Coke, Nancy?
Oh, I put anything in there.
Like, but I'm just trying to picture Nancy's bar.
Oh,
like, what are you putting in? What are you putting in there? Like, which whiskey? Like,
so you're not saving like a lower level whiskey to make a Jack and Coke. You'll make it out of
no. I've done it with Nancy's Pick lab samples, blue corn. I've done it with like tons of lab samples from Magnus. I mean, all the lab samples I have, once they're no longer,
Right.
I don't need them in the lab. I mean, they're like fair game.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
so awesome.
And I do drink them with Coke, and sometimes maybe Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper Zero, or something.
I love it.
I have no shame about it. I'm just, people like what they like, and
Yeah.
I love that though, Nancy. I think one of those things that's so cool about you and getting to meet you in person, and like you coming out to Still Austin that night just to hang out. We were eating. My wife still gives me hell about you and I eating barbecue off the same plate.
Wait, I think
that. God, I mean that.
I think
I get a lot of help.
I think
Nancy,
Kayla-
here on stream right now, I just want you. Did I offend you in any way that night?
No. Why?
Good.
I hope you didn't get the impression I did. I'm sorry. Background barking. No, I'm not. God.
My wife to this day was like, he was eating off. She tells this story to other people that like he was eating barbecue off Nancy's plate. I was like, no, it was a communal plate. We were sharing the barbecue. Okay, all right.
That's how you build friendship.
I had to get that one out. Before we move on, I wanted to say this because I feel like for the first half of this show, or like, sorry, we're already rolling. Thank you, Nancy, for taking time and doing this. But I feel like a lot of people probably don't have the bottles we just tasted through. I said this one, which is still on Take's website right now, T8ke.com. But what if someone's interested, which is Josh just asked this. I know nothing about Armagnac or what would be available. What should I look for? What do you think, Nancy?
Josh. It's so I would say you could probably find a few companies like Delord, Delord. They have a 25-year-old that's like 75 or 85 bucks. I mean, maybe it's gone up a little bit because of some inflation, but it's still really good price. That's more of the traditional stuff. DeRose, I would say they do the vintage ones like this are pretty expensive, but you can get like a really good 20-year-old $100 bottle that's just fantastic. I mean, can you imagine spending $100 for a 20-year-old bourbon?
No, wow, no.
Or a 25-year-old. I mean that's Armagnac is such a good deal. So yeah, their Long Cantata is not a traditional brand, but I think it's something that is a gateway drug, if that makes sense. You could probably find it, and it's something that could kind of get you in the door, I guess. So
awesome. Thanks.
So,
all right, so let's move to Magnus.
Right.
And Nancy, anytime that you need to blink twice because we need to let you go, you just blink twice.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good. I'm giving myself the day off tomorrow. I actually have jury duty, or I have to be on call this week.
Oh, man.
I was kind of trying to make it a light work week. So
I want to get to Magnus, and so was Magnus the first whiskey brand that you worked with here in the US, or was there one before Magnus?
It was not the first. The first brand I ever worked with was Privateer rum up in after Germain Bourbon.
Right.
The next thing I worked on was rum.
Okay.
And then I did.
Okay.
No, I know.
Right.
There was a period of time about 16 years ago, 15, 16 years ago, where like all the everyone is, especially in Texas, for some reason wanted to do like a Crown Royal knockoffs. So I learned how to make Crown Royal essentially, and I can do it every side of Friday. I mean, it's, and so many of the blends I was doing back then. Well, like for example at oh God, what is that? It's a Texas distillery that I think got bought a few years ago, but they do a
Malconis?
no,
Not Malconis?
not that.
Milam and Green? No?
Something Rose.
Oh, I don't know. Yellow Rose?
Yellow Rose. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I created their blended whiskey and such, and it's, so I also did some consulting for MGP about 15 years ago after they had bought bought the distillery and such. But anyway, I came to work with Joseph Magnus in the beginning of, it was either the end of 2013 or the beginning of 14.
Okay.
And so that's, but before we ever, when it was still just an idea, and the Joe's great grandson was, which, speaking of,
I can't wait for you guys to see this. Hold on, I'm going to put you big on the screen here to show.
I'm not going to talk about the other Joseph Magnus products tonight, but I will say that I've got, I occasionally bring this out, but I have some of the original 1892 Joseph Magnus that I kept as a lab sample. That I recreated the triple cask from. So
and Nancy, you found that that was found like in a wall, or it was
that was found by Jimmy Turner, who was Joseph Magnus's great grandson. He knew nothing about his family history, and when Joe's mother died, he found these bottles and her up in a closet, actually, and didn't know anything about them, and started doing research. But anyway, just an FYI, that's what the regular triple cask.
Yes,
gotcha.
Based on
so just for those that may be newer into whiskey, I feel like we've got a lot of whiskey nerds that follow us. But if you're newer into whiskey, there is a Joseph Magnus that's not the cigar blend, but it is a finish, and it's finished in sherry and cognac. And there's a story about this that if you listen to any podcast anywhere, you can hear Nancy talk about it. And it's basically, you trying to recreate that sample bottle you just showed.
Right.
And the only way you could do it was through these finishes, and then come to find out there's some historical element there where there was actually a sherry facility just up the river, right?
Or when the original Joseph Magnus distillery shuttered down in 1917, they were selling sherry butts that I don't know if they aged the bourbon for its entire life in there, or if they were finishing it. I mean, there's no way to know that. Plus, I also had a really good historical reason to believe that when the original distillery was in Cincinnati, that they were shipping barrels from, what would have been, well, it wouldn't have been Seagram's yet, but what's essentially the Ross and Squibb or MGP, plant in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, that they were shipping that up the barrels up the Ohio to Cincinnati, and that Joseph Magnus, before he started distilling himself, was using that stock. So that gave me historical permission to use MGP and to use sherry cask, and that's the only reason I did it.
And that's not funny. That's a very important distinction, right? Because in today's world of NDPs, when everybody is sourcing MGP because it's available, and actually we like a lot of MGP, Nancy. We're self-proclaimed MGP sluts, Nancy, and I'm sorry for the language, but we are.
They're with you. Yep.
We have shirts, Nancy. We have shirts and everything. We
have shirts and everything, Nancy. So
Oh my God.
Nancy, I will wear this shirt on stream with Ian too. This is going to be, we'll see how Ian responds to my MGP slut shirt. We'll see how that
I
goes.
love it. I love that. Yeah.
He'll probably never talk to us again, Nancy. But
Save it for the end of the interview, Hack.
yeah. So anyway, MGP was what, so the fact that Magnus was actually sourcing back then gave you like full, like, oh, okay, well, this is, which is so cool. And also, I guess the thing is, Nancy, is like, you know, Magnus, you've been with them a long time now, and this journey, and something I want to make sure that everyone learns about here, because I saw your Instagram post and we've chatted about it a little bit, is that we may be getting back to some of our roots when it comes to Magnus, right? So do you want to talk about a little bit about the Magnus kind of blends in terms of where we are now versus, you know, because these batch numbers are getting up there. So you want to share that?
Absolutely. And I've I don't know what batch you all have. I've got 498.
Yeah, I'm 222. Mine's a little older.
Yeah,
that's 433, and it is.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's a lot closer. So I've been for a while. I had used from about batch 15 to 97ish. I was using almost exclusively Barton to bridge the gap between old 36% rye bourbon from MGP and waiting until the newer stock got online. So I had to do something to kind of bridge that gap. So around, I would say it was still 97 would have been the last batch that like was on almost exclusively Barton, with the exception of a little bit of 19-year-old to 21% rye bourbon. But I kind of went through a period too where I was using some stock that I just wasn't that fond of, and we also had some cross-contamination bottling issues for a little while, and unfortunately I didn't discover it until the damage had, I guess, kind of been done. So I think it did some brand damage. Well, in fact I know it did. I mean, because I heard about it from people. But anyway, so I've been waiting, what we have right here is I'm finally back to that older 36% MGP profile that I had just waiting.
Love it.
So
if I'm not mistaken, Nancy, it's 492 we're looking for, right? Like that you're calling the New Hope, is that right?
Yeah, it would have. Yeah, so I did a series of I'm writing my notes now, not just like on each batch, but on what I call a coupe mare. So that would be it's a mother blend. So say of 16 bourbon barrels that would go into, say, like 8 Armagnac casks. Or I blend all those barrels in a tank, then put them out in the 8 Armagnac casks. So I'm doing notes on that stuff. But I did a series, on kind of a riff on the original Star Wars trilogy.
That's so cool.
So anyway, but yeah, the thing about these newer batches is, we're finally back up to now a 11-year-old stock, and which I've, and with a little bit of the 20-year-old to 21%, but I'm finally back to the 11-year-old again. Probably the only difference between the batches now and the original 14 is that back then I was adding about maybe 15 to 20% of the Joseph Magnus triple cask into the blend. So if you look at those batches and compare them to the ones now, will be just a little darker. I mean, that's still pretty dark, but you can see some of the sherry influence in those really early batches. I haven't done that since about batch 15. I mean, now it's just 1% or something, but because I really wanted the Armagnac to shine through.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, these batches now are just so close, and I would, or to the originals, and I'd have to argue they might actually be a little better, to my mind. And I know I've had.
I have all of my Houston whiskey friends, all of my Houston whiskey friends right now, all of my Houston whiskey friends, I've told them we're all searching for when 492 hits this market. Actually, I went to Specs yesterday and met a bunch of people, and they had the Joseph Magnus behind the glass case, which bothers me. But anyway, they did. And I had them open it, and I went through like 4 bottles to check because I'm looking for it. So I'm on the hunt, Nancy, for those newer ones. But here's the thing. Like, I know that there was a period of time, but the thing about you is you're transparent, and you will tell you and you're like, hey, but also it's this drive towards being excellent. Like, you have this drive to be excellent at what you do, and it shows through in the expressions. Here's the thing I will tell you on the Joseph Magnus, a lot of sherry finishes can be very drying. They can almost, like, when you taste them, you immediately want a sip of water. And I've had many different batches of Magnus. And Mack, I don't know if you agree with this, but I've never once felt like it dried me. Like, it wasn't like any Joseph Magnus I've ever had, even though it has a sherry finish, it's never drying. Never.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. I mean, we try and be very conscientious of what kind of barrels we use for that. And with the cigar blend, I mean, the sherry influence is so negligible that I kind of laugh when people say that they can taste sherry. It's like,
really?
No, you can't. If you can taste 0.02%, then I mean, you're doing better than like all of us.
Oh wow! Wait on the cigar blend, Joseph Magnus. You're saying if you taste sherry, full of it.
Yes. Basically,
I love
it. I mean,
I don't taste any.
If on, like batch 12, you taste it, okay, I get it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's actually there, but from batch 15 on, I mean, that's just a bunch of BS. I mean, it's
wow.
So I mean, it's almost rock and roll batches. Yeah, those, I love those. I can talk about that, but let me just say a few things about
please do.
Kind of how
I feel like we're talking your ear off. Like,
no. This is what we're here for, gentlemen.
Okay.
Awesome. So just kind of how we get from this, to this, from the Chimera bomb. First of all, I would have to say I feel like I created some kind of monstrosity, or like a Frankenstein, with the triple cask thing, because now people, I see in articles, other whiskey YouTubers that talk about what is a cigar blend? Well, it's always finished. I think, oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy, I could kind of created some kind of, there it is. Because as we've learned tonight, a true cigar blend has everything to do with the fatty acids, right?
Right.
And about aging that in a humid environment to create those oxidized esters of the fatty acids, which we call rancio. The only reason I did that I did any kind of finish for this cigar blend was because I was trying to replicate that brandy note. And the only place you don't really get rancio on a whiskey in the same way that you do brandy. but because it just doesn't have those kind of fatty acids. So the only way to really get that, or at least that I thought about at the time, was to do it through some kind of brandy finish. So,
Wow.
so when I see people now doing, all these, God, I'm probably going to wake up and find a bunch of hate mail in the morning, but anyway, I'm just going to say it anyway. All these crazy ass finishes, Amberana, I just, I mean, it's like, Jesus, where do people come up with this stuff? And, some of the like the more finishes the better or something, and so, they have no idea about the history, and that part I am serious about. I mean, I do kind of I'm kind of having fun here with the little monster here, but I do kind of see this whole cigar blend thing has kind of become an aberration to me in some ways. And now there are people doing good ones, I think, and if I see people respecting the tradition, but I see a bunch of I don't know, sometimes it just seems like a money grab to me. And I don't know. Maybe I just thought it's it up.
Nancy, you're so right. Like, and we've had some folks on the channel, like one of them that's a friend, and Jonathan Maizano of K-Luke, right?
Yes, yeah.
Jonathan is one that I would tell you knows how to do finishes. Like, he knows how to do finishes because, and he's not, but so someone asked the question when he was on stream about when are you going to do a cigar blend? And he was really open about, like, I'm not really, like, I've been thinking about it, working on it, and it may come eventually, but honestly, you have to go where the whiskey takes you. Because what he does is he starts with the base whiskey and those fats and those tannins, and he's not going to match just any old whiskey with any old finish. What he's actually doing, he's looking for certain characteristics in that single barrel or those group of barrels that match well with a Sauternes or an Armagnac. And he's not willing to sacrifice, the quality just to get to a cigar blend, so I think you're right, there's a lot of a cash grab out there where they see the success of Magnus and they go, oh, we're going to throw this 12 blends together and call it a cigar blend. And I know that has to pain you a little bit because that's not what you intended. But right. And we'll talk about, like, maybe how you got away from that when we get to Tanager, right? But I think the thing is there are some people that do it right, Nancy, but there's definitely what you're saying with the cash grab too. I see that.
I have the utmost respect for him too, and I like people too that he's following his own path. He's not copying any, or he's doing his thing, his way, if that makes sense. And people like him, I have the utmost respect for. And so I don't want to give the impression that like I'm the only one can make good whiskey, because I know that is so not true. Right. I think it's just, the people I admire are people that kind of walk their own path. They kind of, do their own thing, and there's thought behind it too. It's not just,
Well, and the other thing Jonathan has, Nancy, which is the other thing Jonathan has, he has a wife with a great palate.
Oh.
And so they do so the way they do it, Nancy, is everything they do, they blind it all together, he and his wife together, and they have to come to a consensus. And I don't know, and that leads me to something, is like, I think it's like, my wife is not a whiskey drinker, but she can nose whiskey like none other. Like, she just has a tremendous nose. And I think there is something to be said for the ladies that like there is innately they're better at it than us. But I think in this field that you've dominated in, and that's what I'm so impressed by, is that you've dominated in a field that probably wasn't that willing to accept you, but here you are, and you've just earned this tremendous amount of respect because, you know, you haven't done things the wrong way. You've done things the right way. Plus, you come on some stupid YouTube channel like ours, you know, just to hang out, which is like,
what am I doing here?
I know.
I
Clip
know.
that. Yes. What are you doing here? Yes, please.
Yeah,
That
good
is
point,
the
Nancy.
perfect
Good
thing. We need that.
Hey,
but no, I totally agree.
I want to segue to something real quick, Nancy, from
Yeah,
Magnus
sure.
Cigar Blend to something kind of cool, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So at the Specs drop this year, they had these for the first time, and I landed one. Mack got one. I think Mack, yours is from Specs. Is that right?
I've got two. One is
You got two. Okay.
This is Steel Box, Nancy.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, this is
And so this is something that just last year Magnus came back out with was the single barrels, right? And so just would love to have you tell us, like, hey, what's going on with Magnus single barrels?
Yeah. So when Magnus was still in Washington D.C., we did single barrels back then, and when operations moved to Holland, Michigan, that unfortunately stopped. And I don't know the reason behind it or exactly what happened. But I will say our new CEO, who was she's new at being the CEO. She's been the CEO for a year now, but she's been with the company even longer than I have. She and the Will Fabry, who is the head blender that will eventually take over for me as master blender. It kind of goes back to Will for talking about Allie, but anyway, we had come across, or we had gotten some stock from MGP of barrels that were or used different cooperages from a time in 2015 when there was a major barrel crisis and shortage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so one of the cooperages that the MGP was using or sourcing from was called a Cigar Moreau, and they usually source from Independent Stave Company. Well, these French barrels, I mean, they're using American oak, but just coming from the French cooperage tradition, and they were just fantastic. And so Will Fabry, my understudy at Magnus, or my mentee, was telling me about these casks, and hey Nancy, we found a bunch of these barrels, and I thought, oh goody, I can use them for some kind of fun project. Well, our CEO decided that it would be better to maybe use those to restart the single barrel program. And although I was kind of chartreuse with envy because I wanted special blending projects, now I'm really glad that they restarted the single barrel program again, because I think the whiskey coming out of these casks is just exceptional, just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So we had this conversation on Friday night. We did a little hangout, and we were talking about Cigar Moreau a little bit. And we were, and one question I wanted to ask you around Cigar Moreau is the barrel impact. And you talked about how I believe I forgot which type of barrel type. I'm sorry, but it was more of a loose grain.
Yeah, that's Limousin, or also
Limousin. Yeah, Limousin is more of a loose grain. Is Cigar Moreau more of a tight grain? Is it more of a precision grain? Is it more like PFG? Is it like what is, or is it just, like, is there any difference in the grain of Cigar Moreau?
Yeah, well, for these particular barrels, they're using American oak. For what the cooperage itself makes, they usually make wine barrels using
Mhm.
French
Oh,
oak.
okay.
And in
Oh,
this
okay,
case,
okay,
they're,
okay.
but they're a French cooperage, and they also have a cooperage that's not far from my house, about like a 45 minutes or an hour away from me, little north, or like an American uh, plant
So,
here too.
so
But
I'm kind of that's where I'm confused by this. Is I thought that Seguin Moreau barrels came from a specific region of France, like that the oak was from that region, but
no,
no.
no.
Oh.
That's the name of the cooperage is
Got
Cigar.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the name of cooperage is Seguin Moreau, but it doesn't mean that that's where they go get their wood from. It's just
Correct.
okay. This is
So
yeah,
not
okay.
no, that's a great question. I mean, because Nancy, this Remus Experimental 1, which is Seguin too, right?
We love that one. We
Absolutely.
love that one. We love that one.
But
Yeah,
that okay. Could Seguin Moreau, for all these that we've seen that are being released, whether it's the experimental number 1 or the, Jay has some great barrels too. Jay West has some Seguin Moreau barrels. I got to pick one with 21090, but like, are they all American oak, or is it could be right? Like, I know it's gonna be a dumb question, but
it would be American oak, but
yeah.
but because for a 10-plus-year-old bourbon to be in French oak would be so tannic and overpowering, and it just
Yeah.
you couldn't do it, or couldn't do it well. So part of it too is in one thing I don't know, and I've been wanting to go visit them here, in my neck of the woods, is to find out if they are their staves will be yard seasoned, of course, but the question is, are they doing it in France, or are they doing it in the United States? Are
That's a
they
good question. Yeah.
they sending the staves to France for the yard seasoning there, and then sending them back, or that part I don't know, but I do know, having been to a number of French cooperages and American cooperages, I've been to a lot of cooperages, and the techniques that they employ are, while kind of the basic coopering is very similar, but there are a number of differences too. So it's all like in the way that they work with the oak, and they're just a lot of different factors that go into making those barrels. But
Nancy, here's the thing that like with
exceptional though.
Here's the thing with Seguin Moreau, and Mack and I have talked about this a lot, is that barrel he held up, Remus number 1, when we saw, and Mack, is that spent its whole life in Seguin Moreau, or is it finished in Seguin Moreau?
No, I think, right, Nancy, I think they're all in their whole
So
life.
it spent its whole life in Seguin Moreau.
Spent their whole life.
And we love that one. And we chased a bunch of different bottles that as soon as we saw Seguin Moreau, we're like, oh, let's grab it, right? But some of them have been, I will just say, a little spice forward, like a little more spiciness on them. And I don't know if I immediately blame the barrel impact on that, or if it's, but the interesting thing, I guess, is that when you look at this Magnus single barrel, Seguin Moreau, its whole life, the color on this thing is really just, it's beautiful, Nancy. It's like, it's
deeper, but yeah.
And you said, I think these are like 10, 11 years, somewhere around there.
Yeah, at least 10. They're, if not, they'll be 11 years old this year, and I don't know exactly when their birthday is, but it's coming up soon. Yeah.
So the segue I want to make there is to this, right? Because you shared something with me today that I think you're willing to share with us, but
I am willing to share.
So we're gonna move from the Magnus single barrel. And by the way, I get this crazy note on this every time I drink this Specs pick, and there's this Turkish, Mack makes fun of me every time I do this, but there is this, because he doesn't believe that I could be this cultured, which
I would never make fun of you.
But there's this Turkish store here in Houston that sells coffees and nuts, and they also make like the desserts and that. And it's my wife. We love to go there when we travel into Houston. And there is a Turkish spice note that I get from this single barrel that reminds me so much of these, like the Turkish spices that I get from there.
Oh, I can
But
see
it's got a depth.
Don't fall for it, Nancy.
No, I mean it's a single.
No.
I mean,
no, I can see that.
No.
I really can. And I have to say I like just kind of the imagination that goes behind that, because that's
I also do love that.
that's how you develop your palate.
she's saying I imagined it, Mac. It's like
I think it's just very
no,
nice.
I mean, like in a good way. I mean that's you're being open-minded and using experiences to.
You've said this before on stuff I've watched with you, is that you have this ability. It's like a superhuman ability, and you won't say it, but I will, because I know how humble you are. But you have this superhuman ability to remember smells from years and years ago.
Right.
And I think that ability for you to remember those smells is a lot about like how you, when you do your notes, when you're tasting, right? Am I wrong on that?
No, that's absolutely true. I mean, I guess I'm a super taster, or to kind of put it in again less politically correct terms, an idiot savant. So, but yeah, there are things I've eaten or smelled in my life, and that's kind of as I'm getting older, it's not quite as intense as it used to be, but where if it's a very intense aroma or smell or taste, I remember like, that experience from, like 30, 40, 50 years ago. I remember what the weather was like that day. I remember, what I was thinking. I mean, it's like it has all these, like just like major, intense memories, and so yeah. I mean, when it comes to aromas, I kind of have like a photographic memory for it. I guess is what I call it.
That's awesome.
And so I would say like about 60 or 70% of things I smell aren't pleasant, though. So that's the downside of it.
Well,
it's so good.
Hack and Nancy, I have to say, so we are like almost on the 2. We're like on the 2 hour. We haven't got to still Austin. This is incredible.
Thank you, Nancy. And I'm like, Nancy, are you okay? Are you good?
I'm good. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Like I said, I mean, I'm good to hang out. I can do about it like another hour if that's good.
Don't tell him that, Nancy. All right. Oh, you're the best, Nancy. That's awesome.
Right, so let's talk about Murray Hill. Now, this is batch 4 that I have, which I'm going to tell you. This is, and I've told many people this. I have a friend, Randall, I think Randall Erickson. He's in the chat, and he's know Randall, right? He's a friend, and a whole bunch of these dropped at a bunch of the ABC stores in Virginia. And I had him go snag a bunch. Now Mac wouldn't drive 9 miles and get one, but that's a different story. I'm not gonna.
I don't have one. And
it's so hard to drive anywhere, bro. Like, come on, man.
DC traffic is a nightmare. Anyway.
Oh.
But anyway, Randall grabbed some of these and sent some back to Houston. But we are in love with batch 4, and I know that you've talked a lot about this. You've talked about different places I've heard you talk, is that you felt like you left it in the barrels a little too long.
I did.
But you've also said, batch 5 has something kind of special coming. So you mind talking about that a little bit?
I don't. And just real quick, a shout out to Randall, who gave me these really cool pipes that he got in Tanzania from
that's
40
awesome.
years ago. And this one right here, I'm just,
that's beautiful.
Oh my God. Yeah. I've really been enjoying this one lately. So again, thank you, Randall. Just want to give a shout out to you, sir. I was going to say, what was the freaking question?
Murray Hill. Let's talk Murray Hill
there right now.
Let's talk Murray Hill.
What's the freaking question?
Murray Hill Club. Yeah, thanks. So on this, the Murray Hill special. Well, let me just say a quick thing about that. So the regular Murray Hill is a blended bourbon, or bourbon / a blend. And I'm not going to talk about that product tonight, but I just was going to say that with the Murray Hill special release, I do the formulation a little different than I do for the regular Murray Hill. So it's like I just kind of like go up a notch, and with the bourbon ingredients I have and such, and probably add kind of like the proverbial cup of light whiskey to it, or something, just the minimum, so that it makes the legal requirement on that. But anyway, I did a Calvados cask with on batch 4, and it was really when it had been in the barrel for about 2 months, it was just perfect. I know that's not a long time, but it quickly got all those really apple, baked pear, apple essences out. It was wonderful, and I got a little greedy with it. I thought, well, I'm just going to push it just a little longer. Well, I made the mistake of leaving it in probably about 6 weeks to 2 months too long. And although I think it's a good product, and it's not that I don't like it. It's not that. It's just not what it was. And which is kind of the painful thing for me, because
I've told you this before, and I'm gonna tell you right now. I've told you this before. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you again, because I just need to tell you again in front of everyone. If this could have been better, I don't know how.
I know
it's Nancy.
Incredible.
It's that good. Like, I know, but this is what I love about you. That drive to like, hey, I'm gonna make it. Like, but I've given this pour, as you can see, I've shared a lot of this pour to people. I love it. And I'm trying to time this for batch 5, right? Like, and that is one question I want to ask you too, because we have a good friend, Tim, who's in here. He's going to be visiting up at Magnus, Murray Hill, and that kind of thing. Is there a reason to go to the distillery? Like, do they have things special that they do there? Can you get special bottles by going to the distillery? I've not been up there. We hope to eventually go do a pickup there one day, but like, I just why visit the distillery?
Well, yeah, and that's a good question. Well, now, in addition to having the reopening the single barrel program, the tasting room is open again after. It hasn't been open since operations left DC. So that, you can go visit that and buy the various batches of cigar blend or other products in the portfolio. We are actually looking at we haven't really started this yet, but we do want to do distillery only releases. That nice. Is part of the plan. It's just kind of like exciting. In product development phase right now. If
so it's not there yet, but it's coming.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
That's the plan.
So let's talk batch 5. Let's go from batch 4 to batch 5. Like, what's coming? What can you share and not get in trouble? I don't want you in trouble, but what can you share?
Well, what the hell,
Yes.
So first of all, batch 5, we've been waiting. Batch 4 came out in 2024, I think. Yeah. So two years ago. I've been waiting for 2 years for.
I know you're waiting on that. Yeah.
Particular barrels to a few things to happen, but the barrels I wanted, it's taken a long time for that to come in. Also, I had to get the approval to do this, and it's taken a while to get the approval. But just for fans that like the Cigar Moreau cask, the base of Murray Hill Club Special Batch 5 is going to use the 11-year-old Cigar Moreau.
Oh, yes.
And if you like Murray Hill Special Batch 4, the age of the oldest component at that time, would that have been 17 years now?
I think it's 17 or 18.
Yeah. So that's 2 years now that it's got more age. So it'll be 19 going on 20.
19 year.
Oh,
Yeah.
19 year Q yeast.
Yeah. And so it's whereas most what people usually think of as MGP uses the V yeast. Its strain was at 133 or something like that they shared in common with Four Roses when they were both the Seagram's plants. This one utilizes a much rarer, at least for MGP, a Q yeast. And that yeast, when I got those barrels initially, we were still in Washington, D.C. And some of the early batches of Cigar Blend, I want to say maybe batches 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 had a little bit of the Q yeast, just a very little bit. It was funky back then. I mean, it smelled terrible. I mean,
I remember you saying these barrels are awful and you shoved them in a corner.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was like a Jamaican rum, but
interesting
bourbon. If that, and I like Jamaican rum, but I don't know if I like it with bourbon as bourbon necessarily. But as they've aged, all those esters have really just become very complex. So what you find, part of what I like about batch 4 is the Q yeast component, which if you were to taste a barrel of that just by itself, it would be very intense. But a little bit of that in the blend, just kind of that's what creates the complexity.
The thing that's oversimplistic, because that's what I do, is this is the most connected pour I have on my shelf. And what I mean by connected is the nose sets me up for what I get on the palate, and the palate connects me to the finish. And then when I'm done, I'm like, it's just good. And I've noted it many times, and every time I note it a little different. It never comes out the same. And for me, that I love that, because I get something different. I go back to it every time. And I know that you wish you'd have pulled it earlier, but I Nancy, it's fantastic. I want you to hear that. It is, but I'm super excited for 5 now. I'm crazy excited for it.
Well, here's the thing that I wish I'd done for 4. The part that I'm not liking, or what I don't say I don't like it, but is that the oak, there's a toasted quality to it that kind of overtakes the fruit of the apple and such. And I wish that I had a little bit more of the apple essence in there. And again,
I was going to ask this. Did you have Bardstown's Normandy, the Calvados finish?
I didn't. No,
we have to send that to her, Mack.
So I would love, because that was one thing Hack and we were trying them next to each other when you were here, and they're both Nancy, by the way, I love too. It's one of those pours that just stops you in your tracks. For the last year, that was one, and then this one does it too. I think Bardstown killed it as well, but they're different enough where it's where do you want to lean in to a more fruit? Do you want the more oak? I would love to hear your thoughts. So Nancy,
let's send her that bottle is taking a beating because I know Mack. but I'm going to tell you, Nancy, that bottle does lean into the apple a little more than Magnus. It does, and I think it
just depends what you like. It's a mood thing for me, I think.
Yeah, right. I think, and I'll just finish with this on the Magnus. If it says Calvados on the label, then I know I want a little bit of apple essence.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I'm not finding that the way I feel like I should. So that's All right.
Oh, we're doing it.
It's time. It's time to go to Still Austin. It's time.
And
I mean, we're 2 hours in, but Nancy,
we need to.
I apologize in advance for my dumb friends that made a car picture around your face. But they make fun of me because how much I love you, and I.
That is too funny! My God.
You can always see this on our past videos. It'll be up in our stream at some point.
Always there. Nancy's always over my shoulder. She's always watching. So. Just like
not creepy at all. Not creepy. It's not
creepy. No, in a non-creepy way. I have an air freshener on my Tanager.
Creeps. No.
Exactly.
It's Tanager 2.
Yeah,
this is I've got Tanager 2 and 1. I'm gonna pull out a sample of 1 because I've about killed my 1.
This is not the most beautiful. Like, Nancy, is this not like from an art perspective? Maybe is there a more beautiful box bottle like that? Like, what do you think?
I don't. This is so much work went into that, and quite frankly, when they showed John and I what the label was going to look like, or before it wasn't quite finished, but when they kind of had an approximation of it, I just thought, crap. I mean, we've got our work cut out for us, because it means that
no pressure.
Yeah, what's inside that better, like match up. And it was stressful. If
you're telling me that the beauty of the box stressed you out.
It did. I mean, I love this label, but it took me a long time to really love it. Because it was like pressure, just like, oh God,
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Man.
Well, they do something like,
that's the
beautiful. Yep, there with the Tanager itself.
The glass, yeah.
So
you at least they at least gave you a glass, right? You made Tanager, they at least gave you a glass.
Not that particular one, but yeah. They did give me a glass.
Okay, good.
So here's the thing: is like this is a special bottle for so many reasons. It was the first time I got to meet you in person. We got to hang out, but also, I think. So we've talked about like what you had to do and where you had this journey we're on, right? Like we're getting through this journey in your whiskey life and everything that you've done. And you and I have had a private conversation about what Tanager means to you in terms of shedding a little bit of that. Hey, I'm more than just somebody that can do finishes, right? Like this is special for a lot of reasons. And so I don't know, do you want to take that and kind of run with it a little bit about what Tanager is to you?
Absolutely. And I mean, and as much as I love just Magnus, I mean, that's my first baby, right here. But Tanager kind of felt like I was getting back to what this original, back to the original stuff I was inspired by, which was exactly what I wanted to do. And when, in fact, when I mentioned that I wanted to make Tanager into a cigar blend and that I didn't want to use a finish for it, there was a little bit of infighting, I guess.
Okay.
I'm anticipating on doing that. It's like, well, let me tell you, we're going to just stay away.
I bet people went, what?
Yeah. And I've been wanting to do that for a long time, but because again, after I created the ugly monster, I did.
I love it that Joseph Magnus has become an ugly monster, and it's like one of my favorite pours.
No, it's not an ugly monster, but the whole cask, the fact that a cigar blend has to be cask finish, thing kind of, became a thing. I just so wanted to get away from that, like as far as possible from that doing anything like that. And so for Tanager, we went totally just using ancient French cognac production methods.
Wow.
No
Okay.
cask finishing, and kind of the part of the secret sauce was something known as Petite O.
Yeah, baby.
What is
And
that? What is
so,
that, Nancy?
so yeah, funny you should ask. So yeah, so Petite O is it's essentially fortified water. So you could think about it this way, but it's made in a very particular way, and it's been made in the Cognac area at least since like the 1780s or so. But anyway, what they do, and I'm going to pour a little bit for myself because it's so delicious. But all right, I like it anyway.
I love it.
Blending that's
So
really
we did
This
the
is
last,
the
the last barrel pick that I did. Christian let us try that Petite O.
Oh.
And, yeah,
yeah,
it's really cool. It is. I don't know how to explain this, but it's like once you've had that and you've had Tanager and all the other expressions, it's like, oh, this is like Mother Earth. It's like,
Yep.
I don't know, like
Well,
that's the first words that came to my. It's like, oh, that's Mother Earth. Like that's where it all starts.
yeah, it is, and so the way that you make it is you add, well, you kind of figure out what your calculations are going to be to get to about 50 proof or thereabout, but you add the whiskey to the water as opposed to adding the water to the whiskey. Now, why do you do that? Well, by going up in proof, you're creating esterification. And so and it's so you're adding a lot of like grapefruit notes to it. You're also kind of adding a it kind of creates like a, how shall I say that, kind of like a semblance of fat of the like lees distillation. And so when you age that, you put that into like a used barrel, about halfway, you fill it up about halfway, and you can age it indefinitely, for years and years and years and years and years.
You were telling me you have some Petite O that it's like, or where some is, it's like crazy old, like.
Yeah, I because I started it up in Wisconsin at J. Henry and Sons.
That's right.
I had them lay down the first Petite O of bourbon in the world in 2015. So that used a 5-year-old bourbon at that time, and now that the oldest of that stock, that was 2015, and it's coming upon being 11 years as a Petite O, and so it's like effectively 16 years old.
16-year Petite O.
So and I mean, it's like ambrosia, because what you're doing at that low proof, you're pulling out all the water solubles from the oak, and so you're getting all those caramelized wood sugars. You're also getting some of the fat from the oak. Those are the whiskey lactones, essentially. So that's kind of the secret sauce to Tanager, is the Petite O, and that's what creates that great length on the palate. Which I think or that's the theory, but behind it, at least. I mean, whether it actually does that is kind of up to the the taster, not me, but that's the theory, but behind it, at least. But if you've had some of this at the distillery, right?
Oh, yeah, it's so here's the thing about Still Austin too, is like, I'm a big fan. I love it. I love a lot of what they do, but so one of the things I want people to understand is that, and this is a question that I think I'm right on, is that Petite O today, the only place that's going to show up is in Tanager, right? Like
That's correct. Yeah.
Everything else is more of the slow water reduction maturation process, right? Like, so
correct. And you would still use Petite O in as part of the slow water reduction process, but they're different things, if that makes sense.
Right. Yep.
You can use Petite O and use it in place of water in your slow water reduction. And for Tanager, that's exactly what we're doing. We're using this fortified water that's rich and sweet. It has all those caramelized wood sugars and fats in place of regular water, and it gives it just a richness that you can't get just from the grain alone, or from the yeast, or this adds a whole new dimension to it.
We had David Jennings on last week, and or 2 weeks ago, and he talked about his love for Tanager. By the way, I don't know if you saw that or not, but
I didn't. Yeah.
And David's creating some of his own whiskey now. He's doing Caleb's Crossing. He's
Yeah.
Did you know that, Nancy? Yeah.
Oh, you got it. We've got to. I love. Yeah, Nancy, you've got to try his Armagnac, Pinot de Charente, cast finish too.
You were in there and asked about where he got his Pinot de Charente barrels from, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So
I did.
We have to connect you with David at some, like, not that
I would love that.
But here's the thing, like, he was so complimentary of this whiskey, and so through our channel, whatever, he's gonna get two, but he was in love with one. And I think here's the thing is, like, I loved one. I love it a lot. I like two more because it's a little more complex. It's a little more deep. But here we're deep into the pours, right? Like, we're 2 hours in. We've had all of these pours. When you've had that many pours, and then you get to something and it still stands up, and it still is.
And you want to pour it in.
It is so special. It is so special. Tanager has this immense flavor profile, and I think most people would tell you, like, I just don't understand how you're able to just take those different corn varietals and throw them together. I know you just didn't throw them together, but the creation of this and what the outcome of it's really magic. It's unbelievable.
Which I would just say, let me just jump in here, where I think we're so deep and like into this, and Hack, you're such a still Austin guy, and me too, but is that, like, I just want to reiterate, this is not a finished whiskey, right? Like,
right.
So, but I just want to, like, I know that a lot of people know that, but for those who may not have been able to try this or know this, so then what is this, Nancy?
It's Tanager. And it is a cigar blend bourbon, and it's much closer to its ancestors.
Yeah.
And which is what I wanted to get back to. I mean, not that it has to be like an exact copy. I mean, it's not that. It's like a nod to the.
This is what's mind blowing. And I encourage other people, grab the brandy, grab the cognac, grab those that we did tonight.
Yeah.
And walk through them. Do exactly what we did. Like, walk through them, go to Magnus, and then come to this. It's mind blowing what's happening right now, because as I'm having this, it's like everything that makes sense of, like, all the layers, all the taste, all the flavors. So, and it's just, I don't know. It's like you can see what you were doing here is like, this is a masterpiece, Nancy. It
really is.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I hope it continues to get better and, like, truly be a masterpiece. But I will say this is that I think now you can see how we went from this to this.
You can see it.
And
like, yes.
I mean, even though one's grain and one's grape, you can kind of see what the genetics similarity is, if that makes sense. I think,
This
or
was
I hope
yeah,
so.
this was so cool. Our friend Rye Guy says Tanager is just magic. The science and art combined at the highest level. Like that's
and I
like,
think too, yeah, it's I totally agree. And Nancy, I did I think what was it? Yeah, last night I did a blind with
you did, yeah.
the blue corn, the red corn, the new 7-year Bond bourbon, your Tanager, and then one of your picks, your Nancy's, I think it was January bourbon. And I did a true blind, and this came out on top, and your Nancy's January was second. Everything was great. But it was like it is so amazing how like the sum is greater than its parts, which is saying something because I love all the parts. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that, and it's I think as we're going to see in this year's version, earlier this week, so you all know I was in Austin working with our master distiller John Trappell on this year's Tanager, and we can really see how the barrels have what we call a turned a corner.
Yeah.
And they're taking on like much more matured qualities to them.
Yeah. My most fun part about this year's Tanager is getting to see you try it in a plastic cup.
Wait, what? Oh wait.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you had the video of it. Yes.
This is what I know. This is my dog. Like Nancy's my dog. When she's sending me pictures, she's like, "Yeah, I just finished up tasting, and I'm trying Tanager 3 from my hotel in this fancy cup."
That's amazing.
Yeah, can I just quickly share that one? That was hilarious. Here we are.
So 7-year, right? So we're going.
Oh, there
it is.
There it is. That's incredible.
Yes.
This
is the woman of the people. This is the woman of the people, y'all. Like she is that.
You had a little Coke in there at the end, Nancy.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey. So this year's Tanager, you guys, let me understand though. Like you and John, you kind of finished a little bit of where you want it to be, and you kind of like how often does it get checked on between now and maybe like December? Like how does that work, Nancy, from now till the release? So
that it's going to be worked on like every few months. The barrels will slowly get watered down in the cask. I mean, it's not going to be watery. I mean, it's probably going to end up somewhere between 107 to 109 ish. Like the this year's was a little higher than the first one, but just in that range. So what we do is just like very slowly from now until say October or so, to just kind of take those reductions in the barrels, pull out more of the caramelized wood sugars and the fats from the oak itself, and just kind of watch the stock, taste it, make sure that and that's another thing that you kind of when we talk about building a coupe mare, it's like a proto blend or a mother blend that you kind of have your components, but you're shaping it as it goes through the year. And if you kind of find one of the components is kind of like going off course or something, you kind of if you kind of have to make some little nips and tucks or course corrections, you've got a lot of time to do that. So towards the very end is when the last few months is when we introduce the Petite O into the blend, and you do want some time for that to kind of marry and to. So the version that you guys just did not have the Petite O. It did. Yeah, it did. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And it's so this year's version is going to be 53% blue corn. Oh. Okay. 33% red corn. So we're kind of going back to so batch 1 had more red corn in
More
the
red,
blend than last year did. And what we liked about it, we really wanted a little bit more of that nuttiness from the red corn, because again, we're kind of trying to simulate that rancio note that we would find in the brandies, which is that nutty quality. And then 14% of the 8-year-old white corn bourbon.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
so and then this year's too will have both red, white, and blue bourbon or corn bourbon Petite O as well. So it has all three, Petite O made from all three of those corn varietals too. And that's getting older. And so it's just continually getting more rich. But one thing that we really found about the blue corn this year is it was, well, let me say too, when we made this year's Tanager, we made next year's at the same time, but because that old stock, we only have a finite amount of it. And so we kind of had to find out what barrels could survive or had the maturation potential for another year, in which ones kind of needed to go ahead and be harvested sooner than later. So we did both 2026 and 2027 at the same time. So we'll be watching that stock too, just to keep that in line.
So here's the thing. At some point, we're gonna have you back just to do a Still Lost tonight. Just there's so much we're not gonna get to tonight. I can tell. But I had to get to Tanager, and there's one more whiskey I want to get to, and then I promise you we'll let you go. Because I have a good friend that was so kind to run a couple of bottles. And also I'm gonna tell you, my favorite thing to do, by the way, is to take Tanager 1 and Tanager 2 and do this, which I'm going to do that. And I'm going to tell you, when you mix these two, it's
is that allowed? Nancy, is that allowed?
It is allowed.
Okay. Cause that almost feel, at first I was shocked. Frankly, I was like,
not at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Blending is always allowed in my book.
Okay. Just wanted to check.
If you take one, and if you have 1 and 2 and blend them together, I'm going to tell you right now, it's because,
all right. I would love to try that sometime.
Yeah. I'll have to try it too.
Everybody in the chat that has 1 and 2. All right. So
all
listen, we'll end with this, I promise.
Okay.
But
okay. I'm good with that.
Wait, Hack, before we do that, can I say one thing?
Yeah. Please, Matt, go ahead.
Because Nancy, what I just did is I went back and I poured this, and then I tried it against Tanager because I also want to compliment you as a teacher, where with the fats part of this I've been thinking of through this whole process. And yes, they're very different, but oh my gosh, and I think that's what I love in whiskey. And I think do you think a lot of bourbon bros like me, where I'm getting hazmats and I'm drinking hazmats, and I like it's the fats that I like. It's not the proof. Is that the thing? And you've nailed it at 80 proof. Nailed it. 100 proof, nailed it. I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't even know if I have a question. I just think I learned something tonight.
You know what, Mac, it reminds me of too, and I wanted Nancy to hear this. When we did our barrel pick with Jay.
Yeah.
He did something with our picks where he didn't tell us the proof, and he lined them up in tannin levels, and he went from lowest to highest tannin.
Yeah.
And so I think
I want to hear the fats thing.
Yeah. I'm okay.
Oh no. I'll go on into the fats, but I'm going to hear the story with Jay as well.
Yeah. So I had never had anyone do that. I'd never had anyone.
Yes, it was a really cool way that he did that.
I'm going to walk you through this, but is it because? And I'm rounding it back to Mack's question.
Yes.
Is it because the fats in the whiskey can handle the tannins at different levels? Because there's some science going on there that I'm not smart enough to tell you about. And that's it.
Yeah, it's the fats and the overall congener level. And y'all know what a congener is? So that's
I actually
I do not.
well,
I do not.
okay, so
kind of do, but please explain.
everything except for ethyl alcohol that produces flavor. So it's all the like all the other alcohols and esters and everything that gives you flavor. So the more of that you have, as well as fatty acids in the spirit, the more oak it can handle, or in the more tannin it's capable of handling. Think about it this way: it's like if you put vodka in a barrel versus something that's really flavorful and such. I mean, which do you think is going to be able to stand up to that oak?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of a simple way to think about it.
Yeah. And that's what we need. It's simple.
Thank you very much.
For a bunch of simpletons, right?
That's exactly what we need.
That too. Flip that too. All right.
Anyway, that's where were we?
So we're going to round it out with a whiskey tree. And so I had a friend, Nancy, that Duran, if you're still watching, love you, Duran. Like you were like, he's amazing. So I thought I had some whiskey tree samples, and I guess I gave them away. And so I texted him in a like crazy, like, oh my gosh, we were going to talk whiskey tree. And so he ran home and grabbed a couple of bottles because he was just at the distillery. And so the two that he grabbed, he's got the high rye straight bourbon, but he's also brought something that is a single barrel that has a Louisiana cane syrup finish.
Yes.
Which my fat kid whiskey is talking to me right now. But also something he talked about that I want you to talk about with Whiskey Tree is he said they had something called the otherworldly barrel or something.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's get into this.
Yeah, and that's a barrel that it was Whiskey Tree and a cognac finish barrel that I thought was.
So the otherworldly was a cognac finish. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nice.
Which I just I've got one around here, and I've got so many bottles.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not.
Which I got to visit, Nancy. I got to visit this about a year ago with my friend's bachelor party in New Orleans, and it was an awesome trip. We got to pull from the barrel to fill, and but yeah, so yeah, I picked this up. Actually, no, I think this might be. Anyway, it's another single barrel, but is it Steen? What's the name of the cane syrup in New Orleans? Steen's finish or? Someone might know here, but I've got the cane syrup double oaked here, Nancy. So.
Yeah, Steen. I think I know exactly what you're talking about, and I love that finish. I love that cane note.
So what are you doing with Whiskey Tree, Nancy?
So I first started working with them in 9 years ago. I want to say like in 2017 or so. I created their Irish Channel whiskey.
Yep, I tried.
So that's an Irish whiskey combined. I combined it with some American light whiskey, and finished it in cognac cask, and then made some Petite O to that, and reduced it with Petite O, and I think did I make the Petite O from? I think that it was a Petite O light whiskey.
Oh, interesting! Wow. All right. Yeah.
So I've been working with Petite O for a long time, but anyway, so when kind of fast forward, the current owner had been a co-owner with a husband and wife team, and bought them out, and that's when head distiller Luca came on, and he's the bomb. He's a student of mine too, but I've been working with them ever since. So I've been working with them once again now for about the past 3 or 4 years, 4, I guess. Yeah,
That's
4
great.
4 years. Yeah.
Is there so like how is Still Austin you've created like Tanager's kind of like is there something with Whiskey Tree or are you just kind of supporting Luca? Like how is it working with them?
Well, I'm doing all their Whiskey Tree blends.
Okay.
Except on maybe some special projects or finishes that Luca does on his own. I'm also, I've taken him under my wing to, he's on track to eventually become a master blender as well. But yeah, with this, and what I find really interesting about New Orleans maturation is that while you have a lot of heat and humidity there, obviously the cool thing about it is that the unlike in Austin where you have heat and humidity and dryness too,
Right,
but the proof on the barrels doesn't go up. It just
Is that because of the humidity maybe?
stays uniform, and I think the fact that it's actually below sea level.
That probably makes a difference too. Yeah, the
on it.
altitude.
So yeah, exactly. And I'm finding that with 7.3, it's really kind of turning out very brandy like. I mean, it's very like soft and round on the palate, or it should be at least. Or I don't want to tell you what you're getting. I don't know.
It's all good.
You were getting this, and you better like it.
It's all good. No, I tried the high rye and I tried this. You know what this? I mean, this is stupid, but this is just me. Is like I could see these whiskeys working really well with like a gumbo, the little spicy, like it just like how you pair whiskeys with different things. I
Absolutely.
did a barrel pick with our my friends with Gauchos over at JT Mellick, right?
Yeah.
And they're all, and I know you've stopped in there before, right? And it's all rice whiskey and this, and there's like this caramel buttery nature that lies on the underneath of their whiskey. And I get this on this too. And it's kind of like, it just is laying low. It's just kind of hanging out on the bottom. And then if you were going to eat like some spicy Cajun food with this, it would just work so perfect. And so it's like,
thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's you don't happen to have the Bywater whiskey tree, do you? The Bywater edition that's the 4 grain.
Okay. Oh, cool.
What's the water edition, Nancy?
Bywater.
Bywater. Okay.
Bywater, the neighborhood.
Okay.
In New Orleans,
Nice.
but it's a 4 grain and 2 types of Indiana and Kentucky rye bourbons to 21%, as well as the 45% wheat, the MGP bourbon. So it's
Well, they've got some great.
I love this one.
Yeah,
too.
I'm enjoying this.
Nancy,
one
is
right
that
now.
Bywater something that people can still find now, or is that?
Oh yeah. But Bywater edition of the whiskey tree is going to be a regular
a release. Okay,
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
And I can't say enough, like how nice they were. Like we had a big group of guys, like a big group of guys, New Orleans bash bar, but like they were so, and that bar is so cool there. Anyway, it's just, it's such a great, I don't know. We had a blast. They also had a rum there, Nancy, like that you could bottle your own, like pull from the rum. So they got some cool stuff. I would suggest that if you go to New Orleans, make that a stop.
Yeah, it's they do a great job with hospitality and everything. My guess is we don't have time for this tonight.
You know what, Nancy? I got time for all.
Let's
listen.
Can we end with Frey?
We're on your clock, baby. Like if you want to do some, whatever you want to do.
Let's do Frey.
Okay. I wouldn't mind doing that, but let me give a shout out to one of my long-term students who I'm going to make her a master blender this year.
Do that.
For anyone, any American single malt fans out there, Virginia Distillery Company, anybody that knows Amanda Beckwith, just, since it's Women's History Month, I thought I'd give her a shout out tonight. She just created her own version of a cigar blend. It's a cigar blend, malt, and it's going to be coming out next month. And I would have to say, arguably, I think it's better than, my work. I think it's right online. I mean, it is.
Nancy, so Amanda, who is Amanda working with? I'm sorry, I was grabbing the bottle and I didn't hear it. I want to hear this.
Virginia Distillery Company.
Mack, how close is that to you?
It's in Virginia, like across the country.
No. Mack lives in DC though.
I'm in DC.
Duh.
All right. Wait, so where is it in Nancy? Where is it in Virginia?
It's it's near it, Charlottesville.
Oh,
okay. So yeah, you're well,
that's great. I've heard about it. I love
any of their other malts, but that she's been working on this for the past 2 years. I took my 5 best students to France with me 2 years ago for a study trip, and she's been working on it ever since. And I think it gets as a mentor and a teacher, I'm so proud to see a student of mine go beyond me, and I think she is. Wow. And that to me is really cool. And it's really, and it's very much in the traditional style.
Do you know, is Virginia, is that available like now? Like, can we go grab that?
It will be next month. It's not
next month. Okay.
Yeah. It's coming out in April.
I'll reach out to you separately. I would love to have Amanda on if she would come join us. That would be like the coolest thing ever, Nancy. She's
brilliant. I mean, I don't just say that because we're friends and she's my mentee. I mean, she's such a nerd. I mean,
this is what we kind of nerd out here, Nancy, if you can't tell. Like, but so, we say we nerd out, but like then I have you on and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't nerd out. We try. Nancy, we try to nerd out.
But here's the thing is, like, I really appreciate you educating us on Brandy, Cognac, Armagnac, and like taking us, because I'm just wanting, and I think here's the thing about like whiskey journey. Mm-hmm. You get to this point where you've gone beyond and you tried all the craft stuff. You're trying to find these new up and comers, and then you want to go back and go like, well, how did Nancy get her inspiration for cigar blend? How did she get her inspiration for Tanager? And so the experience we had tonight, I think is, I just can't put it anywhere. Like, it was incredible. And I just like, thank you so much for this experience tonight. Like, Nancy,
thank you
for the bottom of my heart.
Class. This was like awesome. A little class. Like, I really learned a lot tonight, Nancy. It's been awesome.
Well, that's, and anytime get to laugh a lot, tell jokes, and get some education and a lot of whiskey drinking.
Yeah,
it's and hang out with friends is
that's what it's about, right? That's what it's about.
Much better to get. But thank you. I agree. This has been a phenomenal night.
We've had a blast. So Nancy, something I got to tell you about Harvester. I just set this up, and I got to grab my silo.
So Nancy, while he grabs the silo, I love a good box and that is it. Are you kidding me? That's incredible. Like, this whole design is, and then it's got a tractor topper too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's I've got my box sitting over on the table. Do you have your tractor top in there? Will? I
do. It's in here. It's tucked away because I saw TJ Bruzel. He got his out and broke it.
It broke. Yeah.
They're hard to get out. Yeah, I mean that. You know,
They are kind of hard to get out. Like I didn't break mine. I've got my tractor here.
It's
I got my tractor.
so cool.
I just, like this is like going back to like as a kid, you get to play with stuff, you get to have fun. But
yeah.
So this is the really cool part about, and I got you to sign my bottle when I came to, because I grew up in Pampa, Texas, and our mascot was the Harvesters, the Pampa Harvesters. And so this release was like,
cool.
and so when it came out, I was like, just the nostalgia of growing up in high school and playing football and all this kind of stuff. And so for me, and also when you grow up in the panhandle of Texas, like the silo is like, it's your beacon. It's like what you see. It's like, it's all flat. Like the land is completely flat. And then you drive for miles and then you see you see this silo on the horizon and you're going the right direction, especially if you're on horseback. so this thing, I don't know, it means a lot to me because of that. But then I had a chance to meet Colby and Ashley at a whiskey festival, and they're probably like the coolest people. Like they're just
so cool.
So cool.
and I know that, like Frey Ranch can lean into some notes that not everybody loves. Like I'm just going to be transparent. Like there's a part of Frey that people don't like, right, Matt?
Yeah. So I was going to say, Nancy, like when people say crafty, I feel like Frey Ranch is one of those. They're like, oh, it tastes crafty. What do you think about that? What is like what, when you hear people say crafty and then like, anyway, I would just leave it at that. What do you think about that with Frey and crafty?
Boy,
let me have it.
Late in the stream.
Let me have it, Nancy. Let me have it.
I can go several places in the conversation.
I think what I mean too, Nancy, is that I think some people who are entry level, like for if you're drinking like Buffalo Trace and that's your thing, which is great, and you're starting to get into that next level, maybe certain distilleries might have a note that you're not used to, where there's a grainy thing. But I think in my own whiskey journey, Frey, I used to have some feelings where I was like, it's just a little too much, but now I'm loving Frey's stuff too, and it's probably reflective of where I'm at in my journey. So I think that hopefully that like shows you a little bit more about what my question was there. But do you know what I mean there with the crafty piece and on the journey?
Oh, God, I do, and rock the whiskey Casbah. Love it. Yeah, I love that song. I love Clash, but anyway, yeah, so crafty can mean at least from a flavor perspective, or I dare say like a fault perspective, can mean a few things. I know, like when I've tasted quote crafty before, like years ago, and this is not Frey Ranch, but there was a time a lot of craft producers were using a lot of very small barrels.
Oh yeah.
And the it just their whiskey tasted like like tannin water with the like a lot of proof to it or something, and it's not very good. But I think in the case of Frey Ranch, I think what people mean by crafty is that there tend to be and sometimes they tend to have a few more heads than they should.
What is heads?
So heads.
Well, I would like.
I'll be quiet.
Like, thanks, Will, but let's have Nancy answer this question. What is heads, Nancy?
She might know more.
So when you when you distill, there are three fractions of distillation. So the first fraction off the still are what we call the heads, and those are the lower boiling point and kind of lower molecular alcohols. So like acetaldehyde, methanol, acetone, ethyl acetate, or some of those kind of alcohols, and so they tend to have like a lot of acetaldehyde has like a lot of green apple notes. Acetone, that's like nail polish, kind of that that kind of note, or very fruity kind of notes. The hearts are where you get the majority of your that's what you want to pull for the majority of your distillation. And then that's where the good stuff is. But if you do it too kind of what we call a tight cut, and get just like nothing but ethyl alcohol, then it's just like vodka. It's kind of flavorless. Tails are to be very fatty and kind of are kind of flat tasting, and like petroleum jelly and pastry and such. So for long-term maturation, you want kind of more kind of looser cuts. I mean, you don't want you are going to gather mostly hearts, but it's not going to be all of that. It's going to be just a little bit more heads and a little bit more tails, and that's kind of what creates flavor over long time. So
it's a trade-off. It sounds like
Frey Ranch, they're gathering. I've noticed sometimes a little bit more of the heads in their cuts, and that's what I think people kind of refer to as crafty. And it's not the graininess; it's the heads that people are catching. They just don't really know what it is that they're getting.
Because I think people say it's grainy. I think people will say it's graininess.
Well, yeah, it does really focus on the grain, but if they're getting something a little kind of quote crafty, that's probably what they're getting out of there. So
well, thanks for going into that. And I one more question here with Frey, because I have a 135 proof single barrel here of the bourbon. And oh my gosh, I love this so much. It is.
He loves the high proof Frey.
I do, and I think like the lower proof, it's just a little harder for me to like, Nancy, and I don't know why. And I but this is like, to me, like when there's like some things when I was a kid, like Honey Nut Cheerios and like whole fat milk, even though I wasn't allowed to have that. Like you know what I mean? Like that's what I get with this, and I love it. Anyway, but
it's good stuff. And so just side, I know we've been on here for a long time, but I do want to say, I'm sorry. No, it's okay. It's all good. I love geeking out. I mean, I could be here till midnight.
Oh gosh,
my time, not your time.
I think it already is for me, but anyway, I'm all good. I'll be here. How long? Yeah, what do you have there, Nancy? What do you have?
You guys have the Harvester 1 or 2?
I have 2. I know you asked me if I have 1. I don't, but
I wish I had
2, and I've shared it with a lot. And this one's the wheat forward, and I know that you went from a rye forward to a wheat forward. But Mack came to Houston. We were hanging out, and we tried this one together, and we loved it. It's a creamy, buttery, like it's just, but I don't know. Like I know that a lot of like Mack sometimes, and this is not to knock you, Mack, at all, but
feel free to.
Sometimes on Frey, he gets like a fresh hay.
Like sure.
Sometimes I like it, but with this, it's a caramelized hay, and I like like. Does that make sense at all? I'm probably an idiot.
It definitely does. No, that's not idiotic at all. And having I kind of remember that smell in the air of Frey Ranch. I mean, there was like a this expression is going to sound stupid, but I'm going to say it all. Anyway, it smells.
You'll belong on this channel when you say it. It's okay.
There's like a farmy
Yes, I've
FAR,
heard that a lot.
like a farmy,
Yeah.
not barnyard, but like a there's just like the land around there and the air just kind of like has a certain aroma to it, and I think it kind of comes out in the whiskey, which would definitely make sense. That it's getting captured with the grain, and and the terroir, and then and the maturation, and the barrel warehouse. You've got that farmy dust blowing around
I love it.
everywhere. It just has a certain character to it. And I've been working on batch 3 of Harvester lately, and in fact, I've got to finish that blend up this week, assuming I'm not in jury duty. But that's
Sir, I can't do jury duty because I need to make whiskey.
Yeah,
awesome.
We need that.
Judge,
So everyone knows we need that letter to be sent.
yeah, that's
But like, Nancy, what do you when you go to Frey? What, and I know you go to a lot of, you work on a lot of distilleries. What is it about Frey? I almost like in my head, which I don't know anything about how you do this, and I can maybe have a glimpse into it. Is it like, do you view it as like a bunch of different, as a painter with colors? Like, how do you view Frey versus other things? Like, do you have this whole different arsenal to work with? How is that different than other things for you?
It's vastly different. First of all, I usually don't have like 17 different mash bills at my disposal, which this year in for Harvester 3, I've got 17 different mash bills at my disposal. Awesome. And so there's a lot of choice. I mean, I'm usually just working with one, mash bill at a time, or like in the case of Tanager, 3 at most.
Right.
So that right there is a big difference. Plus, I just work on this one product for them. I don't do all of their blending.
Okay.
So I basically have like free reign of like all their best stock.
Oh wow.
And it's just like from year to year, whatever the barrels are, they don't tell me, you've got to have, we really want you to use this ingredient this year, whatever. It's just whatever's showing well, the best of the best. And
I want to know, Nancy,
and I rarely get that kind of freedom. That is so fun.
That's cool.
That level of creative freedom probably lets you like kick ass. And so like the truth is like, well, 2 things people want to know, and I've seen it in the chat. When is the Harvester 3, and then what's the profile going to be, or do we know yet?
I don't know yet. I'm still working through all those 17. I've got several hundred samples to get through. So, I'm still, just working through all the mash bills and just kind of seeing where, and those are showing up this year. And, I really won't know until I know, when I'm finished with all that. And ramping it up.
But see, this is the cool thing, is because this is what like Jay talks about and what you talk about, Jonathan talks about. Like here, I'm seeing like this stream, right, of people that really do good whiskey. Is it like they let the whiskey take them where it wants to go versus trying to force it into? So you're basically trying hundreds of samples and going, all right, well, where do you want to go, whiskey? All right, I'm gonna go with you, and that's. So cool.
It tells you whether, as opposed to you trying to kind of force something onto it.
It is.
That makes a big difference. When you have the freedom to be able to do that, that really makes it's a huge difference.
Well, that's awesome. I love the Harvester, and I think it's I don't know. I think a lot of people are probably in, I think we all have, as we've talked about, Hack and I, a lot of our whiskey journey. People are in that in different phases, and there's a lot of people tonight who just have, hey, I've got a couple bottles and I love whiskey, and then there's people who have 500, and then but I think it's so cool to, like, at least for me, Frey Ranch is that distillery where I can go back and be like, well, at first when I tried that, I was like, and now I'm like, I just tried this, I'm just floored. There's nothing like this on my bar, and it is such an incredible expression. And then the Harvester, Nancy, it was just I wish I had one because I loved it so much. But
yeah, that's what I like. It, they've been around for it's like the 1850s. I mean, they weren't making whiskey, at that time, but they've been, it's, I guess, it's rare in the bourbon industry, at least. You get to do it with brandy, but for bourbon to taste, producers that are actually growing their own grain rather than just sourcing grain.
Yeah.
That to me is really cool to be able to have control of all parts of production. I mean, the only thing that they don't have control of is there's no white, American oak grown on their their farm.
In Nevada.
I tell you what, if there was, they would be cutting those trees down, and and that's just really being able to taste, really, the true terroir, from the distillery itself is really cool to me.
So, Hack, I have one more question, and then I'm going to turn it, because Nancy, it's been 3 hours, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Hack, and we're going to, but I have one more question for you, Nancy. What are you, thank you, first of all, it's been so great to have you on. What are you most excited for this year in whiskey?
In whiskey in general, or just
for you, anything? Because I know but I would love to hear, like, what for you with whiskey specifically this year. Is there something you're like what are you really excited to kind of dig into that you can tell us?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I honestly don't know. I mean, I'm excited about projects I've been working on for some for years that I finally want to see the release of, that may not be some things I've been working on for like 5 or 6 years. I thought we're going to get released this year, got pushed back. I don't really know. I'm just kind of really curious about where things are going to go in the whiskey industry right now, and I think I've got friends have lost jobs and such, and I really I'm really having been laid off before, and I was laid off as Germain Robin the first time I worked for them. I went to work for them again a second time, but I know what that feels like, and that's hard, and not to get all I don't want to go down negative road here, but that's serious stuff, and it affects people. And
well, Nancy, maybe that's a very like disconnected question coming from me, and I think a lot of us too, where it's like there's a lot of changes happening. So like, where do you, maybe I'll change the question, which is like kind of like where do you see things going from here, and like what do you hope for?
Well, what I hope for is I know some distilleries or some craft people are kind of shuttering their doors and such, and I hate to say that, but I also I guess above everything, I just want to see quality continue to improve, and people to or the distilleries could continue to focus on that. And I guess something else too is this is going to sound so Pollyannish and hokey, but what the hell? I'm just going to go for it. I love how whiskey can bring people together.
Oh, no
And
way.
it's
No
like
way.
and I was kind of trying to be like the Dolly Parton of the bourbon world.
Yes.
I don't get caught in people's
Yeah.
persuasions. It's like we all can come together over something that we love, and I just like to see more of that. It really fosters friendships. I mean, I probably made more friends, just over this thing that we all love, and I don't know, I just love how it fosters community, and again, that might sound really hokey or
No, Nancy. There's no more.
I don't mean it like that, but it really fosters friendship and and memories, and times spent with people that you care about, and I don't know that.
Well,
No,
thank you.
it's not hokey. It's not crazy. It's not like, so getting to meet you in person at Still Austin. First of all, there's a lot of us that like you're in awe. Like you're at first, it's like, oh, this is like someone that I deeply respect, which I do. And a lot of us, like we put you up here on this pedestal and we respect you. But then what happens is when you come in and you hang out and we're just friends and we're just hanging out and we're just like, Nancy, like that's what's so cool about this whiskey community is that like it's it is a close-knit group of people that are connected around a common thing, but also you can leave all the other BS outside, like all the other crap that goes on in the world. Like we don't talk about news. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about all the other BS in the world. We've spent 3 hours talking about whiskey, and it's been some of the most enjoyable parts of my life.
Yes.
I just love it. And I love spending time with you. And I'm deeply appreciative of you doing this with us tonight.
Thank you, Nancy.
Well, I feel the same way. And, I've just kind of been also trying to see who's on here tonight. And so many of these people, I've never met them in person, but I feel like we're old friends. We always see each other on the same, it's, and with the you guys too, it's like hanging out with your friends. Well, it is hanging out with your friends. I mean,
that's what we want.
And what could be better than that to me? I mean, that's
nothing. And what's really cool is when your friend is as educated and great and amazing as you are, because then
you're talking about me, Hack?
No.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. You meant Nancy. Sorry,
I meant Nancy.
Okay.
Yeah, but we started this channel a little under a year ago, and never in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine we get to have you here with us. And that you've made this old man like very happy, and I just want to say thank you. Like it means the world.
My pleasure, and I want to thank you all too. But it goes two ways. It's I'm just a person. I mean, I'm just an old hillbilly from Tennessee, basically. I got me a little education, but that's I mean I'm just a Tennessee hillbilly.
Love it.
And, we love you, Nancy, and we kept you 3 hours, which was totally too long, and we want to say thank you.
Thank you so much, Nancy.
I love you guys. Yeah.
All right, Nancy. We'll do it again.
All right. Well, hey, fun hanging out, and this has been an epic evening.
Oh, it has been epic.
Thank you so much, Nancy. You're the best. Cheers.
Good night. Cheers.
Over and out.
All right.
Cheers. Good night. I just can't believe that happened, bro.
3 hours, man. Yeah, she's just incredible and shows how much she cares about the community. And yeah, I'm gonna have to like,
Dude, we were trying to be respectful and round it out. And she goes, I got another hour.
I know.
I do want to say this too. Like, I apologize to our chat tonight. I just don't like, I just want you to know, like, I'm not gonna interrupt Nancy ever.
Yeah.
I'm just not. And I'm so sorry to the chat because I know you guys felt like we love to like, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So
And the funny thing is, I think Nancy would have been fine with us doing it, but like, I
she
think
would
like
have
we're just
been, but
not
I just
gonna,
no, I'm
but
just
like, yeah,
not.
no, but no, there were a lot of great questions. I think we put them in there, and I think Nancy answered them too. And
Yeah.
like, but man, I just like, whoa, yeah.
It was awesome. This was crazy. We had over 100 people watching us.
That's incredible, man.
I know. And I do want to say this too. As our channel grows, it gets harder and harder to keep up with the chat.
Yeah.
And I don't mean any offense at all to anybody. I just want y'all to know that. Like, I loved you guys, and I love you guys with the bottom of my heart. And I don't, but if Nancy's on, I'm trying to tune in. But here's the thing: is I will upload this to Spotify so I can listen to it while I go.
We want to hear it. Yeah.
But here's what I did do while we were talking, Frey. I did load the wheel.
Oh, so you loaded the wheel? Look at you.
Yeah.
Man, what a professional. I would have never thought of that.
No. Here's the thing: you couldn't have loaded the wheel.
No, I couldn't have. I would have. I need Tyler. I need someone.
Right. Yeah, but Sweet Cindy was so upset because all her bad joke or good jokes, I should say, were wasted. They weren't wasted. I was watching all of them.
Yeah. No,
and man, this was a good time tonight. But we can spin, and then after we spin, I'm going to pee.
Yeah, and because I think I snuck one in. Anyway.
Oh, you snuck one in. What
did you
sneak?
See my text?
I did. Yeah,
I snuck a pee in. Anyway, all right.
Speaking of. Yeah, so we're gonna spin, and then you know what? I know I shouldn't do this, but I will hang out in Discord if anybody wants to.
God!
You don't have to, Matt. You don't have to.
No, I'm going to. One more pour.
One more pour. Wait. All right, so let's bring up the wheel. We're gonna bring up the wheel. We're gonna spin. I need to say thank you guys, and by the way, Mac, you'll be so impressed with me.
I'm always impressed.
I also added all the Venmos.
I just don't know how to do that.
I know.
Look at this wheel. Oh my God.
This wheel is insane tonight.
This wheel is insane. Okay.
So how many times should I shuffle this bad boy?
Let's do 11. I don't know. I just felt 11.
Oh, Josh wants to know, for the record, did you call Nancy baby?
What?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. What?
Here's the other thing they want to know. Were you cooking popcorn in the microwave? We heard them.
It was not me. I wonder if Nancy
was Naomi.
No, it wasn't Naomi.
Candace says an audio interview would be great. Parrot kept trying to say hi when Nancy would talk. That's so awesome. It was a great night.
Anyway, yeah, we got to roll this because I think people like, first of all, they're like, holy shit, this 3 hours I gave you. We
still have 60 people here, which is normally what we normally have.
All right.
No, I didn't call her baby. I didn't. No,
wait,
I didn't call her
baby. Me? I didn't either.
No,
I thought you would be first.
No, I called her my dog. I said
Nancy, my dog, which was, but she was fine with it. Anyway,
it was good. She was good with it.
She loved you.
She was good with that. Yeah, we are going to Discord next. All right, I'm gonna spin this bad boy. We're gonna shuffle. I don't know. Tell me how many times to shuffle.
I said 11. Let's do it. 11.
All right, 11. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Wait. Is Nancy still in the chat? Hold on.
Oh,
wait. Is Naomi, your wife's? Wait, Nancy, is your wife?
Oh, we have Naomi? 2 people named Naomi. Mack's girlfriend is named Naomi. This is
another level.
Dude, like
Naomi's
we are all connected. Like we're connected.
Naomi's are great people. Oh my. Wait, I love it. Nancy's still.
Yes, I'm still here.
Wait, but my wonderful girlfriend's named Naomi, but yeah. Oh my God, this is amazing. All right, Hack, spin the channel. Okay, this is another level, Hack.
I just can't. This is amazing. All right, we're gonna spin. This is
this for?
for the Frappan. I'm going to screw it up. I'm just
One
going
that
to
I
say
don't
how I
have.
say it.
Cognac?
Frappen.
The cognac.
This is a cognac. Yeah, this is a
Propane.
hey, by the way, for this uneducated Texan, that was amazing. Like I
mean,
got like
Did you?
I don't think like to be educated on brandy, cognac, armagnac, like that was
incredible.
we spent an hour on that, by the way.
I mean, I hope like
Jake,
of course, Jake.
I'm so glad
What
Jake
did Jake
wins.
just win the Frappin? Okay, that's awesome. Way to go, Jake.
Jake wins the Frappin, which is the cognac, which is the cigar blend that kind of started it all, y'all.
That's so cool.
All right. So next up, I'm going to do a sample pack from you me do mine or yours first?
Let's do yours.
Okay. So everything that I have that Nancy has put her hands on, you get, which is going to be a lot. So here we go. This is
what is this? It's like all the samples and shit.
Yeah. So I got like Tanager, I've got Harvester, I've got
oh my god, I want
Murray
this.
Hill, I've got Magnus, I've got like 4 different Nancy's. Like this is going to be a sample pack of like 12 samples. This is going to be a huge sample pack.
Sit. Oh my god. All right, the dogs are going crazy. I'm sorry.
All right, so who's going to win this one? Ricky J, or is it going to be Brandon? Is it going to get to Brandon? Ricky J.
Ricky J, congrats.
Ricky J, Ricky Johnson, congratulations. I'm going to send you all the Nancy stuff that I got, which is a lot, and I don't know. I'm going to have to order some more sample bottles. Okay. All right, next up, this is going to be for you, sir, which you have a bunch of Armagnacs.
I have a bunch of Armagnacs, and I have the OG. I have this Germain Robin, which is incredible hack, which I can't wait for you to try.
Yeah. It's not called German Robin either.
It's not called the country and Batman's lame partner.
I know I am your lame partner.
No,
Oh, Andrew?
Who's
Brad
gonna win?
Booper? Is Brad Booper? I love
Booper. Booper?
Yes.
Bradley, you're gonna get a banger pack, and you get the Glen. He gets the Glen.
Oh, he gets the Hackamack Glen.
Yeah, the one more poor Glen.
All right, y'all. We have been on stream for 3 hours and 16 minutes, and we thank you all for being here. But also, we're gonna do one more pour.
We're gonna do one more, and it's in the Discord.
Can you believe that? We're gonna do one more pour.
I can't, and I
hey,
love it.
Thank you so much to Nancy. We love you, and it's been incredible. Thank you for lifting the restraining order. I appreciate that.
Nancy, you're the best.
All right. We'll see you guys in the Discord. Come hang out with us. If you don't know how to get there, be a member. Click on the member link. We'll get you in. Link your YouTube to Discord. We love you. I'm going to pee after this, but I'm going to be in Discord. Good night, y'all.
Love it. Bye.
So for all the people that came here tonight,
Cheers.
everybody in the room,
Cheers.
hey, this YouTube thing has been fun, but it's way more fun hanging out with you.
Cheers,
And we appreciate everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, damn, that's good.
Oh, the rye is so good.
Damn, that's good.
Oh,
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers,
one more
y'all.
pour. Have one more pour
Have
with
one more
somebody
pour.
you love, because you never know when it's that last pour.
That's true, buddy.
Cheers. Good night, y'all. Have a good night.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts.